niggas on it. They used to bait me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it, your homies on it. Y'all's the hater, and all of my moves, but now niggas on it. They used to debate me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it, your homies on it.
Realest Podcast 7, we back, man. It's your boy C. Diddy.
Oh, man, it makes me sick.
We here in a special location. I'm sure they might have used to own slaves in here. I see Vicky, and I don't see a fan.
Yeah, that's what that was my exact thought. When I see her come off the joint, I didn't see a fan. I'm like, something went wrong.
My goodness. We in this undisclosed location, you know what I'm saying? It looks cute in here. It ain't that cool, though, but we going to power through this and bring y'all, as promised, man. This is going to be the most informative, most specific, most value-added show that I think we ever did in the history of TRPE. And we didn't talk to a lot of different people in a lot of different industries, a lot of different business lines, stuff like that. But, like, these guys right here got it all figured out. These brothers right here are actually brothers. They're tried and true business gurus with the results to prove it, not just for themselves, but literally thousands of other people. They talk it, they walk it, and through their programs, they funded over $100 million to their clients and mentees. Real results with the receipts to prove it. TRP Nation, I hope you got your notebooks today. We doing $1 billion worth of game will be dropped, guaranteed. Please welcome Herm and Kevin Dolce to the realest podcast ever.
Yo.
Man, appreciate you for having us, man. Thank you. Great opportunity to finally get on a podcast in Philly.
Right.
One of the biggest podcasts in Philly. So
thank you, man.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, we've been grinding, man. We was talking, off air about, the journey and everything, as far as like the podcast. We 5.5 years in this thing, and the last 2 years, we really kind of made a pivot and had to turn it up and just focus on kind of calling in a lot of favors, but also just doing value added stuff to where the audience that we have, we got a really sharp, smart, like business-minded audience.
Right.
People all around the country, all around the world that listen to this show. And I was just like, we do a lot of talking like around credit, but we do so more from like a first-person POV, like giving our own testimonials, things that we did, we tried, that worked, and things like that.
Yeah.
With y'all, though, y'all have so much different experience, so many different situations and scenarios that y'all can pull from. I think that it would be very beneficial to our audience. So that's why I was like, we just bide our time, waited it out, and made sure that we got y'all on the show. So thank y'all for joining us today.
Thank you. I always, whenever somebody invites me onto their platform, I like to first thank them sincerely, because you guys got to vet the people before you put in front of your audience. So that's like humbling to us. So we appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like it's a lot of that going on nowadays. People just kind of throw people out there.
Yeah.
Information go left, and they're like, I ain't know that. Nigga. You want from me? Yeah.
Say something about that. That information going left, we've definitely been caught up in that too, and we just call it paying tuition, because we done lost a crap ton of money off of people saying somebody can do something, and they weren't able to do it. So I understand by y'all doing y'all due diligence.
Yeah, I see some of the information that go on podcasts and some of the people, and you'll look up 6 months later, and it's like, wait, what? And you'll go back to that, and it's like, oh, we didn't know he gave us 3,000. We put him on that episode. That pay for play get people jammed up all the time. Yeah, so we just appreciate y'all coming out, speaking with us, messing with us like that's great. You know what I mean?
Without a doubt, man. We're big on trusting the experts. Y'all are experts when it comes to like business structure, credit, and stuff like that. So a lot of conversation going to steer around that. But I just kind of want to start by asking you guys about your upbringing and your backgrounds. Where did y'all grow up, and what was life like for y'all family?
You want to start off?
Yeah, I guess I'll start off. Right. So I'll talk for both of us, I guess, for the beginning. But we were both born in Brooklyn, New York, so we're Brooklyn natives, but Philly raised us. So all my life I've been in Philly. I think, Herman, you were here when you were 10 years old when you came over here. But I was born in New York, but I came over here when I was 1 year old. We grew up in Uptown, Mount Airy section of Philadelphia. No, we're not from North or West, but we're from Uptown. We're definitely from Uptown.
Shout out Uptown, man. I love Uptown.
We're both of Haitian descent, so we're children of immigrants. We pride ourselves with that. Just seeing how our parents worked super, super hard to, put themselves in a position to take care of 3 kids without having a degree. without having that background, and just seeing their hard work and perseverance really allowed us to become the same individuals as them, because everything that we've done is hard work. Nothing was given. We're not trust fund kids. We weren't given any money. It's from the muscle. Our parents told us, it's only 3 things we can do growing up, and I'm gonna speak a little French. L'école, l'église, and la caille. That means go to school, church, and be in the house. Yeah. Like that's what we grew up. That was the upbringing that we grew up in, a very strict household. And they prided themselves on us going to college and getting a degree and becoming individuals of society, which they were very wrong about. Because there are so many millionaires and billionaires out here who don't have a college degree, who don't have their masters. Even though we went to do that and put ourselves in debt, both of us aren't working in the fields that, we got our degrees in, except
man, speak on it. But it's people doing all kinds of things that ain't got nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it. So, some people say, well, this isn't your area of expertise, but Malcolm Gladwell, in The Outliers, if you guys are familiar with that.
Very familiar.
It's 10,000 hour rule. You know what I mean? It takes you 4 years to master something. Both of us have been doing this for over 4 years. So we definitely mastered our craft. So a little bit more about myself, and I'll let Herman do a deeper dive. So I went to state school. I went to East Stroudsburg University. Shout out to the PSAC with Harvard of the Poconos. I went there for biology, minor in business. I actually got into med school, which a lot of people don't know, but I got into DO school in the Caribbean. So I'm a brainiac. For those who don't see that, I am definitely a brainiac. I ended up not going to med school because I felt like my passion was in business. So I went to New York, went to start my MBA program, completed about a year over at NYU, and my dad had a stroke, came back to Philly, and literally been grinding out since here. I served different roles, from director of business development to vice president to even serving as an intern president for one company. If you guys are familiar with Triller, Triller is a startup tech company. They do all the verses currently. I help them in their cap raise for their $5 billion valuation where they're currently at right now. So I definitely have a lot of experience within the business space, within mergers and acquisitions, within finance. So, I bring that so I can teach other individuals how to properly start up a business and how to run a business the correct way. I write business plans. Nothing that I do isn't anything that somebody else can't do. I just want those people, and the reason why I just want, people of our race and our color, different minorities, to understand that you don't have to work a 9 to 5. But it's okay to work a 9 to 5. Everybody just needs to invest their money. So, just giving these opportunities where people can come in and start their own business, start something outside of just working their 9 to 5 is just super, super beneficial. And, I'm just glad to be able to offer that service to our people.
Kind of starting off, what made you guys, this is like a high level question, what made you get interested in business and in credit specifically to begin with? What about it attracted you?
So I got to give you kind of like a long answer.
Hey, dude, we're here for you, brother. Do your thing.
I don't got shit to do. Go ahead, do your thing.
So how do we get into it? So I'll mix that with my intro too. So born in Brooklyn, raised in Mount Airy, went to Temple University. Got my master's from Lincoln University, so I'm Philly.
Okay.
Right. And then my wife got pregnant with our first child, Bella. Shout out to Janelle and Bella. And we went to Italy for a baby moon. So baby moon is like the final trip you take before your life is over, right?
Okay.
So we in Italy, we on the train, and then my wife is sleeping. Baby bump, she's like 4 or 5 months old. And then as she's sleeping, I realized something, because at that time I was a social worker.
Okay.
Making like $39,500, right?
Human services.
You know what I'm saying? Human services, right?
Yeah, you in the 30s.
Yeah, I'm in the 30s.
Yeah, you in the 30s.
Human services, bro. Lincoln University, Massachusetts.
Listen, real quick, can we take a pause and talk about how many human services and social work and just degrees that Lincoln just pumps out?
Yeah, bro. A lot.
It's a lot.
Is it really?
It's a lot.
A lot, bro. It's a lot. That Lincoln pumps out
specifically Lincoln.
Is that like a thing?
It's like a thing.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
Charging out $40,000-$50,000 a year for a $39,500.
Yeah. That's another conversation. That's another conversation. I'm already in the red coming out. So when I took the vacation, I had to use all my vacation time, number one, and I had to ask permission to be there, right? So I'm processing that.
Ask permission to
be on vacation.
I thought you were something like the Italian government. No, that's what I'm like, what did you do before you went to school?
So I had to ask permission. So I'm processing this, and then when I get home, I'm telling my brother this. He's like, yo, the only way you could be free is if you own your own. So I was like, so I had to meditate on that a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So
that's a bar.
Like, well, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna sell?
Right.
So I was always fixing credit. Why? Because my dad's name is Herman too. He's Herman Senior. I'm Herman Junior. So some of the stuff that was on his credit showed up on mine.
Right.
So back in the day before everybody started getting on it, I'm like, yo, you just call up the credit bureaus or you just write them a letter. It was a lot easier then. And then the stuff would come off. So I had the knowledge about it. So my brother was like, yo, you should start a company doing that, fixing people credit. I was like, nah, like people need this because I was doing it for free.
Now, what brother said this? Him or
my brother? Yeah.
Oh, which one of y'all is older?
I'm older.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just the bigger little
Yeah,
brother.
he's a bigger little brother. Yeah, that's what I call it. So he was like, yo, you got to start charging people. I was like, nah, like people need this. Like once they credit fix, they up. He's like, nah, bro. He's like, listen, they're gonna pay somebody. They might as well pay you.
Right.
So I called up a couple of my friends. I was like, let me fix your credit for free. Posted the results on Instagram.
Right.
And then
went to the moon.
It went to the moon after that. So success has receipts. When you saw receipts, they're like, oh, what's up? And then people started calling. So I go down that path of, you always have to educate yourself.
You're a good friend. Like,
right.
Calling his friends, yo, let me fix your credit for free.
I didn't know what I had. Sure. I didn't know my value at the time.
Yeah, my friends did the opposite. My friend called me and said, yo, let me fix your credit for $900.
Shit, or you got a friend that fuck your credit out.
That's wild. Yeah. So the results spoke to themselves, and when you're trying to do better in your craft, you go to YouTube University and you start learning more.
Without a doubt.
Then I fell into the business credit situation. I was like, wait a minute, these white folk giving out 50 bands just because you got an LLC?
Right.
And then that was the next business, and then businesses beget businesses, and then the rest is history.
Without a doubt, man. Tell us a little bit about y'all respective companies, Bella Sloan Enterprises and 1990 Business Consulting.
All right, Kev.
So 1990 Business Consulting is a full-service business consulting firm. So what we primarily do is we register business entities, whether you have an LLC, and a corporation, or a nonprofit. We register that business for you. We've done over 5,000 in the 4 years that we've been established. So business has been very, very good. And we also write business plans, and we also create business strategies for businesses as well. So everybody who wants to start a business, they just like, okay, I'm gonna register my EIN number, and now I'm a business. Actually, no, you need to go through the Secretary of State, register your business, then get your EIN number, then get your operating agreement, which is pretty much your legislation of how you want to do your business. Right? So it'll tell you if, okay, I have a 50-50 partner, or what to do when this partner dies, or et cetera. You know what I mean? Then you go open up a business checking account, and now you're officially a business. People don't know that you need to take those steps to become an official business. And also, with us writing business plans, people don't understand that a business plan is a blueprint and the outline of how you want your business to be run, right? So when you're thinking about huge conglomerates like Walmart, Amazon, who started out of garages and in the basement, they all had a business plan. They all had a strategy to get them to the point that they are today, billion and trillion dollar companies. I think our issue now is when people start companies, they have no strategy. They have no exit plan. They're not forecasting what their revenue should be over the course of 5 years. They have no direction. So when they hit that hump of, okay, I'm only making $100,000 a year, yay, like, that's it for them, but they don't know how to take it to the next level. They don't know how that they need to take 10% of their revenue and throw it back into their marketing dollars so they can continue to grow their business. Because right now, because we have a Philadelphia base, cool, everything's in a tri-state area. But the reason why I grew my business the way that I grew my business is because I paid money for those ads, and now I have clients all over the country. So people don't understand that those marketing dollars and that strategy is very, very imperative. But that's what we do as a company. We come in and we help you create a strategy, we help you register your business, and we make you official so that when you do begin to make those dollars, you know exactly what to do with it.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot on here. It's like people have kind of gotten to the place of like, oh, I got Instagram, so that's my marketing. You know, people don't want to spend money. You'd be surprised when people have businesses but don't invest anything into marketing.
I got an impromptu question I want to ask y'all. Do you think that there's like a detachment from our people of color, black people, and knowing the importance of marketing a business?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Either spending the dollars to do it or understanding that you have to network to market your business, right? Yeah. So you have to go to different spaces outside of your comfort zone to talk and to do that, right?
I ain't doing that nut shit.
Right, I ain't doing that networking.
Oh, hit on some nut shit. I ain't doing that.
I don't want to talk to nobody.
Right. It's crazy, but nobody know who you are.
Good dope sell itself, all that nonsense.
Dope sell itself. Fuck, I got
Dope sell itself.
That's real.
I think the main problem with our people right now is that everybody is like, oh, he made a ton of money. I want to know the secrets to getting it. There's no secret sauce. Like, give them the information. It's free. It's out there. Like, tell them how to do it. Yeah. If you're the best at what you do, then you have no competition, right? And you can live by that rule. If there's maybe 30,000 credit repair companies that just popped up within the past 2 years. Right. But Herman knows that he's the GOAT, and he's gonna move like he's the GOAT. My competitors, LegalZoom, Rocket Lawyer. LegalZoom just raised $251 million in Series B funding, right? My company's been around for 4 years. They've been around for 20. You telling me that I'm not gonna raise $251 million in Series B funding in the next 3 years? You're shitting me. I'm gonna do the same damn thing. The blueprint is there. Right. It's outlined there already. It's no secret sauce. It's no secret society. Ask and I'll give it to you. I think our problem is that our people just don't want to tell people how to be successful because they don't want anybody to have the same amount of money as them or be better than them. I want that shit. Everybody gotta win.
I gotta add to that. Agree with you, but we gotta pause. You know what our people don't do also? They don't execute.
Right.
So on my Instagram page, you follow the page, right? Mm-hmm. The sauce is there. Just scroll through it. I can't tell you how many people who I've run into be like, yo, I listened to this, I'm up 50,000. I listened to this, after this, I'm up 100,000. Right?
It's funny that you say this because we started talking credit on Patreon. Like we got a paid subscription, Patreon. We started talking, like he said, not selling nothing. Mm-hmm. Just, yo, what you do this week? Oh, man, I got this off my credit, or I'm doing this, or yo, so-and-so's giving out this. I went to this bank. And we just started having a conversation. And people dead ass come up to you be like, yo, I listened to so-and-so, I got on the Patreon, like, man, I got 65,000 from Navy Federal. And even to me at times, I'd be like kind of fucked up, and I'd be like, shit, Navy Federal gave me a bean and shit. Like, it makes sense. It's like if I'm talking about it and somebody else do it, it's like there really ain't nothing you're selling. It's really like you say, the shit is out there.
The shit is out there. Just execute on the play. Yeah. You know, me, I charge for my time.
Right.
You know, a lot of the game I give, like 50% of it, I put it for free on Instagram. Yeah. The rest of it, when we sit down and we have my Zoom calls with my mentees or whatever, we give a little extra something. But you're up just by going to my page and paying attention and just executing on the
I scroll through your page and I just see this reel and then this post and I'm just like, it's all right there.
It's all right there. So when somebody in my DMs, hey, how do I love all y'all, right? 65,000 followers, bro. I'm not gonna save you in the DMs. Just go do the work.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is that we was at Wallow and Gilly crib at their studio. Shout out to Wallow and Gilly. And then somebody had came in with sneakers. And they were selling sneaks, but they're like a pretty big sneaker plug in the city. But they was like, man, I didn't even take Herman mentorship. But I was going through his page. He was like, man, I kept using my own cash, like 70,000, just buying my inventory. So I was always low on cash until I sold all my stuff. He was like, man, I went through Herman page. I rented up $181,000 in credit.
$181,000.
Herman was like, no, I need to record that right now.
I need to record that.
That's a testimonial.
I was like, say that again.
He was like, yeah, all the information is on his page.
It's on his page.
And all of us are in there just witnessing that. And Gilly and Wallow like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like,
now he
do
goes
that for us. Like, run it up for us.
Now he go buy sneakers in bulk. So he was like, you literally took my business to the next level.
You helped him scale just by following that information that was
right there.
Presented on your page.
Here it is right there. But my company, Bella Sloan Enterprises, named it after my daughter, Bella Sloan. I started that company at the moment I found out I was having a baby, right? It freaked me out. And I made myself a professional because I was always doing it. But now, you know, I got the LLC, got the EI, made myself a pro. So Bella Sloan, We are a financial literacy company. We help people fix their credit or teach you how to do it yourself. And we love helping businesses. That's our passion, helping businesses get funding, helping businesses get money. And the third pillar of our business that we do mentorships, where we do one-on-ones or we do group sessions, and we just teach everybody the blueprint and the game for them to go get executed. In 2021, we funded $50 million. So that was a crazy goal that I just said we was going to do $10 million last year. But we was able to do $50 million this year. We're trying to do $100 million.
Yeah, so you're supposed to be trying to do 100.
Trying to do 100, man.
Want a little bit of that?
Yeah, a little song, little 8% or something.
We gotta walk to the car. So I tell people we walk to the car. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. So it's all about putting people in position to win, because the capital is out there, and the people that's looking for this money, they're already hustlers. I already know this people. If I give them 100, they know what to do with it. Right. Especially if they execute it on the play. And then they flip it in. Now I consider myself the freedom giver and the option maker. So now you have freedom and options now to make moves outside of your 9 to 5.
Ain't no doubt about it. Let me ask you this. What's the most rewarding part of being in these industries and helping people the way that y'all do?
Man, I kind of just said it. Watching people take the plays, run the plays, and have options and be free, I think that's the most rewarding part, where I could look at somebody and they'll tell me, man, I looked at my boss crazy the other day. He said I had to work overtime. I had to. I ain't got to work overtime. I'm good. Because my side hustle, right? Don't let me get my you can fire me if you like, but let me get 40 hours to my side hustle. Right. Because Herman gave me this 50 and I'm flipping this, you know what I'm saying? So being able to put people in that position where we just coming out of a recession, I think we about to hit another one. Yeah. But people have options and they're not scared like they was before. Right. I think that's my fingerprint that I'm leaving here, and I'm really excited to be able to do that for people.
Yeah. Kev, same question.
Yeah, honestly, the same thing. Like, even when people come up to me now and they be like, Kevin, like, you registered my business. Now I was able to go to Herman and get funding. It's like our businesses are full circle. We work hand in hand with each other. So the same success receipts that he has is attributed to me helping that company get started and get registered. So honestly, man, it's just a great fulfilling feeling of just allowing people to have that opportunity to really just take over their life in a different way that they were taught to take over their life. Like, they were taught to be a slave to these companies versus just being a slave to your own company. I'll work 9 to 5, 9 to 9. I'll do 20-hour shifts for my own company.
Absolutely.
We're not just saying
I'm
that.
getting in return. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, you know, and it's funny because what you're saying we talk about a lot, just because the way we were brought up. I come from that family, like sort of like you. Mom was a teacher, dad worked for the post office, and it was really like, get your job, don't give them no problems. Work hard. Retire, get a grill. You know what I'm saying? Like, real shit.
Get a gold watch.
Yeah, you know, I want no gold watch. Get a gold watch, right. But no, and it's funny because Councilman Curtis Jones says that, like, their generation, what do you call them, the gold watch wearers?
Yeah,
like,
the gold watch generation.
Where it's like, you can figure black people coming out of the civil rights issue from the 60s, 70s, if you get a job, you good. You know what I'm saying? He don't let you get like a government job or a federal, like my papa. So it's like, you get that, you ain't doing nothing else. You know, like you getting your
won,
third. Yeah, you won essentially. And for me, you know, getting to the point where it's like now, where it's like, yo, I do 14, 15 hours at my job. Why not do that for myself? You know, the dividends. They're so much further.
Return on investment is crazy in yourself.
You know, so it's a mentality thing more than it is anything. So yeah, that's dope. That's decent.
Herm, you had a quote on another show that was very, very powerful. Okay. Everyone doesn't have to be an entrepreneur, but everyone has to be an investor. Explain the context of that for the audience.
First of all, shout out to you for doing
homework. I don't mess around. We don't
content
doing his due diligence. You used an article you said. You had said, I need you to elaborate.
Chad don't fuck around with the content.
Crazy. That's never happened to me.
Me and Dan are betting on basketball games.
That man's a journalist. That man's a journalist. So I want to be careful, you know, how I show the narrative on social media that everybody got to be an entrepreneur. Everybody, y'all get this money. Like, it ain't for everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what I do is a lot of sacrifice. It is 60, 70-hour weeks. Mm-hmm. I don't get to see my children. I was gone for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. I didn't get to see my kids for 2 weeks. So that's not for everybody, right? But what needs to absolutely be for everybody is that money needs to work for you, right? That I'm going to preach to you all the time, right? Yeah. Money needs to work for you. Money is a tool. This is how the other side of it, I'm not going to say the white folk, anybody with money, they understand that I put money here, it's going to grow and it's going to work for me.
Absolutely.
Right? That just has to happen. So everyone needs to understand that knowledge, whether it's crypto, whether it's Forex, whether it's stocks, whether it's real estate, whatever you're putting your money in, it has to give you a return. Now that return that's coming in at some point is gonna be able to replace your job at some point, and you could keep your job if you want. But now you have what? Now you have options.
Freedom and options.
Yeah, now you have freedom and options. So that I'm always telling everybody. So the moment like when I used to do the calls myself and get people funding, I'm like, well, what are you gonna do with it? Right, oh, I'm about to start a trucking company. All right, bet. Oh, I'm about to get into real estate. I'm about to start a boutique. Great. I want you to put the money somewhere. It needs to work for you. It needs to grow so you have freedom and options. It's crucial.
Yeah. Grant Cardone, somebody that I follow pretty closely, talks a lot about the concept of storing money versus saving money. And the fact of like specific to your point of like having a plan on what you're going to do for your money and not just throwing it to the side because, oh, maybe you'll go on vacation, maybe you'll go to Gucci and blow your bread or whatever the case may be. What do you think about the concept of storing money versus saving money and having like being purposeful with your bread?
Again, this is where financial literacy comes in.
For sure.
Understanding money, right? So whether it's in crypto's going to go up and down. It is, right?
Yeah. It's a market. It has ebbs and flows.
Long term, it's going to go up. Real estate, same thing. So I always tell people all the time, I'm broke all the time. Nah, Herman, you got it. Nah, I ain't got no bread, right? Money comes in for me, right? On my mentorships, people come in, they're like, oh, you made a bag. Now I already spent it because some of it went to crypto. Some of it went into another real estate place. Some of it went into the trucking company. Some of it went into me because I got to educate myself, right? And a lot of things that I do, people don't understand. Like, oh man, you got a nice watch, you got a nice rollie. Yeah, this joint was a couple dollars, but it's already worth more. Right. So I'm putting my money into things it'll continue to grow over time. So it's not sitting in my bank account losing money. We're in inflation right now. Inflation is like 8-9%. Yeah. So when it sits in my account, it's losing me money. Why would I leave it there?
Right.
So it looks good on a piece of paper. That's crazy.
Interest with bank accounts right now are 0.01% annually.
Why are you leaving it there?
Your money in the bank account, right? There's plays out here that's giving you, 4 to 5% return on your investment weekly.
Yeah, just passively.
Yeah. Just passively. Why am I going to put my money in a savings account? Savings versus storage. I'm going to store my money into an investment that's going to make me money versus leaving it in a saving account that's going to make me less than a penny a year.
It's nuts. Great place.
Doesn't make sense.
Another great place to put your money is insurance, life insurance policies. Yeah, that's how they really been doing.
That's a different play.
That's giving you 4 to 6%. So put your money someplace where you can get it back, right? Right. That is actually.
Now you say putting your money in life insurance policy. What do you mean exactly?
So, like, say for instance, one of the plays I do. Shout out to my guy Andre Green, right? I make a quick 50, right? The first thing I do is I pull it into a life insurance policy, right? It's a whole life insurance policy. I'm not an expert. Please call your agent.
Disclaim.
Disclaimer. This for
That's how it be on a commercial side.
That's how to do that, bro. Herman said entertainment purposes only. Yeah. So I call up my guy, like, hey, I got a quick 50. He be like, all right, cool. I get the life insurance policy, right? It's a specific policy you get. Now I gave him the 50. Now that I give him the 50, it's like a savings account. Also, it gives me 4 to 6% interest on my money. So right there, I'm already up. Number two, in 30 days, I can take up to 80% of that money out and put it into my pocket. Here's what I just did. Number one, that's $50,000 in taxes that I don't got to pay.
It's diverted.
It's diverted. That's $50,000 that I got that they're not going to be able to tax. Then I take a loan out on it, right? Up to 80% of it, it's in my pocket now, right? Who's the bank? I am. Yeah. Right? So that's number two. Now, say for instance, God willing, I'll die for 30 years, right? That $50,000, no cap, easily is $750,000, $800,000, right? The interest is accrued on it. Now, Herman, but you took like $35,000 out. I know, but in money products like that, it's still accruing interest on the $50,000, even though I took the money out.
Because that's the principal amount.
No matter what. So I'm using the dollar twice. So I take that money that I got, I can go buy the Rolex, right? Or I can go buy another product that's gonna make me money while that's accruing interest. So in 30 years when I die, $800,000 is worth now. They're gonna cut a check to my trust, not to my children. It's gonna cut a check, and the check is gonna be $800,000. Say for instance, I never paid back the $35 I took out. $800,000 minus the $35.
You know what's crazy?
You know we're playing a different money game now.
Y'all know some shit, man.
What's crazy about him saying that, right? What's crazy about him saying that is
who you like on game 4? This nigga knows some shit, man.
Shout out to Boston.
He for Boston because he for Boston and he playing that big brother role. Any team that I like, he don't like it. So
Stand the Warriors.
yeah, I'm a Steph Curry fan.
Gentleman's sweep, 4-1.
But to piggyback off of what Herman said, even when Herman gives a game like this, right, it's still going to be individuals in our society that's going to be like, yo, he's scamming. That's a scam. Right. Like, there is no way that this is real life. Like, he has to be scamming. No, actually, billionaires do it.
Billionaires do it.
Wealthy people do it. Because you weren't educated on it doesn't mean that it's a scam. This is real life shit.
Right.
People do this all the fucking time.
Look, we gonna do this. Black people, and it's so crazy because I was watching Strictly Business last night. You ever watched that? Joseph C. Phillips, Tommy Davidson, Halle Berry. It's a classic movie or whatever. And remember when he walked into the bar and the Hollering Brothers was sitting there, he didn't know that they were the Hollering Brothers. He's like, yo, what's up, my home dudes? And then when he finally seen them, it was like, oh shit, y'all the dudes that own the Harlem National Bank. Y'all must have thought I was a real asshole. And they was like, yeah, you can say that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we just have a tendency to see each other and just not believe shit is
nothing.
You know what I'm saying? It's like these dudes owned a bank. Like they literally coming in to buy a $75 million skyscraper. He thought they was just like niggas, like just like and I think we do that with just each other in general.
Yeah,
do you feel like y'all being Haitian might have like a added element to that where people might not believe certain things or might not trust you in certain ways or look at things like it's a scam? Or
let me start off on this.
Go ahead.
I just think people are haters, period. And
I mean, yeah, that's just
and it's crazy. I just called my brother raging the other day. One of my good friends was out, and somebody went up to her inside of Vesper and was like, "Yeah, you know him? He's a scammer." Da, 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 da. And she comes back and she tells me, and I'm like, "How am I a scammer?"
Right.
Like, explain that. Where'd you get that from?
Right.
How do I scam people by registering LLCs and writing business plans? Tell me how is that a scammable product? You know what I mean? So I just feel like people are just talking shit to talk shit because they're not used to seeing other black men, if they're not a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer, make fucking money. Yeah. And
it's foreign to them.
Even those are foreign to them.
Yeah, and I think that's just the main issue with it now. Sometimes I'd be like, girls are haters, you know what I mean? But guys are big haters when other black men are making money too. Big haters.
Yeah, and you don't got to worry, but they shut Vesper down. So they see you niggas in 23. That's what they said. But yeah, I think that's just like you say, the nature of us.
Yeah.
Where it's like if it's not basketball, rap, club promoter, trap boy, like
scammer,
actual scammer. It's like, wait, how'd you? Even with this, we experienced with y'all actually like make money with the podcast or actually do this with it, and it's just like, yeah, because you got to remember this was uncharted territory for us in 2000.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, y'all been doing it this long. I was like, yo, that's what's up.
2016, 2017. I remember saying it to people was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, what is a podcast? We introduced probably no less than half of our audience to what a podcast is. And I was just listening to JJ Redick was on somebody's podcast, whatever, one of the Barstool guys on their podcast, and he was saying how he was on 2 different networks and he lost his subscriber base twice. That happened to us also. We lost our subscriber base 2 times because we shifted from one network to another, and then we shifted from this network to being independent and having all of our control. So we had to scale this show 3 different times.
Oh my God. Yeah, we lost when our feed went dormant in 19, beginning of 19. We had a show that had 700,000 downloads. And we had to like rebuild.
Our average was like 180,000 downloads a month. We lost that.
Yeah,
like,
we lost it.
Gone.
Because we left the network. And it was like we had to basically create another feed and bubble this feed back. So we've branded ourselves 3 different times.
Shout out to y'all.
Yeah, it's a lot, and people don't understand it. So it's like he said, people see the successes. Like you look up and see us have like the wins of selling out a show or selling a bunch of merch or getting this little partnership or whatever. And people don't understand. It's like, yo, we went 3 years investing money and not really.
It was a net negative.
Never see the slow build.
No,
they just see you up and now he's a scammer. No.
Oh yeah, he's a scammer.
Yo, this was a slow build. Like, this shit took time.
Yeah.
Oh, you were dead?
Yeah. I had negative $75 in my bank account. Now I got $2 million there. Now I'm a scammer. Like, it make no sense.
Dog. That's some real shit. He a scammer. Real talk.
I would like to apologize to the audience for making this look easy.
Facts.
Yeah, I
I've heard I say this all the time. One of my mantras I live by is when what you do, when what part of what you do is making your success look easy, people hate that shit.
Yeah.
Like it drives them crazy.
Yeah,
it drives them crazy because people are literally sitting at home thinking about all of us in some capacity. Oh man, what the fuck? How he so and so? How he get that car? How he get this watch? How he so and so? How he with these people? Like, and it really eats people alive. Instead of them just asking you like, hey, how'd you do it? They'll drive themselves crazy and create fake narratives like, oh, he a scammer, or he doing this and this. Like, they'll make up a victim log of people that you scammed in order to justify their nonsense.
My thing is, at least do business with me, then call me a scammer. Don't just make up a narrative like about me being a scammer. I was just so perplexed about that shit. I was like, what?
That's why it's crucial to my brand. You know, success has receipts. I gotta post it all the time. Yeah. Just to remind people, like, no, we really out here helping people and changing people's lives out here.
Yeah, I had a question I was going to ask. What is the biggest misconception about people in your industry? We answered that already. We can throw that out. That's gone.
Right.
So listen, I want to talk about scenarios, like specific different like business scenarios. And I'm going to use us to start off with. Me, Dan, and Matt are in the process of starting a company together.
And Jules,
a separate company together.
He'll call me about that.
A multi-person LLC for a trucking company. Walk me through how, Kev, how you would structure it, and then Herm, how you would help us scale that, because I know you're a trucking specialist.
All right, bet. Go ahead.
And we coming into both of your offices with this recording. All right, go ahead. Understand that. Like,
You say it.
yeah, no, this is you right here. Like,
Right? All right. So the thing with multi-member LLCs, it's always difficult, right? Because when you look at it, you want to really understand what percentage you're going to give to each person, right? Who's dumping in the most money? If everybody's coming in evenly as 3 partners, you're coming in a third, and a third, 33.3% on each. In Pennsylvania, you can put up to 5 members on your actual LLC document when you're filing it through the Secretary of State in PA. So each one of y'all can be on that LLC. Now, if all of you guys come in there evenly, that's when the operating agreement comes into place, right? The operating agreement is gonna state, okay, Dan owns 33.3%. You own 33.3%. You own 33.3%. Now all of you guys are even partners. Now when you start doing your due diligence and actually trying to get your authorities, your MC numbers, your DOT numbers, if you're trying to start a trucking company, that's when it kind of gets a little bit, weird in a sense, because only one person can go on your MC and DOT versus all 3 of you guys being on there as one. You know what I mean? Like there has to be one guarantor, if I'm correct with that in a sense. So the business can actually be on there, but when you're filing for the insurance, when you're trying to get funding and everything, that's when you go into who has the best credit out of all 3 of us. You know what I mean?
That's who we want to. So that's who we want to lean on.
707.
So basically, the person with the king of the hill, we want to lean on that person that has the best credit profile, because they're going to be PGing for majority of the stuff that we're going to need starting off.
PGing is personal
guarantor.
On this. So when you go open up a business checking account, right, and there's 3 members on that LLC, you can't just go in there and be like, I want to open up a business checking account.
Absolutely.
Right? All 3 of you guys have to go in there at the same time. Now, when you're trying to get funding and all 3 of y'all on there,
they're like, what is this?
So whose credit?
Who's responsible?
Who's this other guy?
Now you might have to tweak that operating agreement a little bit. And you're like, well, I'm 33.4% now. I own the majority of the company because I have the best credit. You know what I mean? And you guys have to leverage that credit. Now, if you guys are true business partners, of course, put that in the operating agreement that, hey, I leverage my credit for this. This money is going to be used to this. If the company was to cease, this is what would happen, right? So you have to put all that language into the operating agreement.
Right.
Get it notarized so that then if something was, God forbid, something was to happen to you, who would take your percentage of the company? Does it just automatically sell? Do you guys get rights after, let's say after he passes or something happens to him, you guys have 60 days to buy his portion of the company before his family gets the portion. Like you have to put that language in there like that to make sure that you guys are operating the correct way and to make sure that if anything happens, you guys are safeguarded.
So other part of that, more granular. Number one, don't call it a trucking company.
Okay.
Don't put trucking in the name. Yep. That's a red flag, right? Because banks don't like to give money to high-risk industries, such as credit repair, funding companies, trucking companies. That's why my company is named Bellastone Enterprises.
Right.
The trucking company is named after my other daughter, Olivia Moreau. So Olivia Moreau Enterprises. So make sure you have the good name. Make sure you have a business phone number, a real business address. Don't let it be your home address. Let's take a pause because we're in Philly right now and it's hot, right? Don't put your home address on your LLC because that is public information. So if you pull up somebody's LLC, the name of their company, it's going to show where they live. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's great. And it's just easy. All you got to do is go to Secretary of State website. So make sure you have a real business address.
Yeah, PA isn't a hidden state. So it's like 4 hidden states outside of PA: Delaware, Nevada, New Mexico, and Wyoming.
Yo, you know some shit. He said this the other night. It's 5 states.
Yeah.
And I got money on the game, so I'm like halfway listening to it. But I remember him saying.
That sounds familiar.
5 states.
But if you need help changing it, definitely hit up Kev, and he could help you change it, amend it.
We have a partnership with Alliance Virtual Offices too. So if you need like a virtual office, so you won't put your physical office on there because banks, banks are literally looking to see residential areas now. Like, oh, you say you're a business, but this is a residential area. So now we're not going to maximize your money.
You can't get as much money if they see you working out your house. Right. So you want to maximize how much money you can get. Make sure you have a website. Just look, it's all about looking professional and pro to the bank. All right. So now you're going into the bank to get the money. Whoever has the best credit, right, is going to put their credit up, personally guarantee it. Now, Kevin touched on this a little bit about your operating agreement. So wink, wink, right? The operating agreement, you guys own a third of the company. Mm-hmm. But when you go to the bank, though, you put all 3 of you as a third, they're going to run everybody credit. Right. But if you say, nah, he got the best credit, he owns 85% of the company on the operating agreement, right? And the rest of y'all own the other 15%, then they're only going to run your credit. Yeah. Right? But you know.
Remember Friday after next? I like this.
But you guys know what's up. You know what I'm saying? But if you got operating, you said it's a third, they got to run everybody credit. Right? Now, and then remember you say, I like to tell people, it's like, well, if I'm getting funded for a trucking company, what do I say? All my businesses are the same. I say I got a business consulting company. Right? I consult businesses on how to start up. I help them set up the LLCs, et cetera. I don't tell them I'm doing credit repair. I don't tell them I'm doing real estate, none of that, because I want to maximize how much money I'm going to get. If I tell them I'm credit repair, they're going to give me $15. Right. I tell them I'm in a safe industry like consulting, business consulting. I do websites. They're going to, that same person, same credit, they're going to give them $15,000, $20,000, $30,000. It's a big difference on what you put on an application, and they know nothing about you. So you're giving them the information that's going to dictate how much money you're going to get.
Definitely some high-risk industries that you definitely want to stay away from when you're using your business name. So typically when you're registering an LLC, you want to stick to these names. So if you're going to do, if you like my business, it says 1990 Business Consulting, or we can have 1990 Holdings, 1990 Enterprises, worldwide, global. Keep it as general as possible. Because once you put trucking, once you put properties, once you put real estate, once you put investments, those are all high-risk industries, and they're immediately gonna, reject you in a sense and not maximize your dollars. So for those listening out there right now, if you need to change your business name, go and do that ASAP so you can maximize your money on that.
So when you go into these banks trying to get business funding, do they do any type of like investigating into what you're going to be doing past the name?
Of course they are. Right. First, they're going to go to the Secretary of State and see that the name legit, right? And how else are they going to know anything about you? They're going to go to your website. Is your website going to say you're doing trucking?
They're going to call the phone. They're going to see if it...
They're going to call the phone. They're going to see who pick up.
Who pick up the phone.
They're going to go to the website and see what's on there. You can go to my website. The website I give them, it says business consulting on there. Right? You go to BellasstoneEnterprises.com, it's business consulting. Right? But once you get the bag, invest in what you need to invest in.
We're starting to get hip to business consulting too. So I would say use like technology as well as business consulting.
Y'all like that the global.
The global one is good. Yeah.
Matt King Global.
Exactly.
I'm fucking with that.
Y'all want to play y'all want the blueprint to get a couple dollars?
Yeah.
Y'all ready?
Sure.
All right, cool.
This is what we came for.
This is what you came for? All right, bet.
Get them that sauce.
So especially like, the majority of people in Philly, so they can understand this play real quick. So I always tell everybody, go to the credit unions first to get a bag. because the credit unions give out way more than the big boys, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. They just name brands, but 10,000 from Bank of America is 10,000 from PFCU. It's the
One
same
thing
amount.
I picked up on when I started getting into the credit a little bit was like the fact that credit unions are basically nonprofits, and it's like the real banks have shareholders, so their whole thing is to like make money for their public traded company to make money for the shareholders, whereas the nonprofit, they have to allocate certain amounts of money.
100%.
Yeah,
especially.
I know a little something. Yeah,
no,
on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? The game ended. I was still awake. I'm like, I'm watching YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So at minimum with this play, anybody that's listening, this is 30 to 50,000 you can get, right? So go to the credit unions first. You're gonna Google credit unions, and you're gonna Google your zip code. So credit unions and your zip code. So credit union 19139, right? It's gonna pop up all the credit unions that are in your area. You'd be surprised that these are small banks. You didn't know they were there. Well, you're gonna call the bank up. Hey, you do business credit? Yeah. You do business checking accounts? Yes, absolutely. Where do you pull from? What credit bureau do you pull from? Oh, we pull from Equifax. Then you go down that list. Find 3 banks that pull from 3 different credit bureaus: Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, right? So now, why? Because I just gave you the play on how you can get 3 credit cards and technically only have 1 inquiry, right? So now you're going to go to these 3 banks, open up a business checking account, open up a business savings account, put $50 in each, because it's all about relationships. Start a relationship with the bank. Shake hands and kiss babies. Put $50 in each. Before you even get up, they're going to be like, well, hey, wait, you want some funny? You want a credit card? They're going to ask you that. Oh, absolutely. I would love to get a business credit card, 100%. If your credit is decent, 680 and above, right? Because not just your credit score, it's your credit profile. Right? You got a couple of credit cards on there already. There's no reason why that one credit union is not going to give you $10,000 on the low end. And I sent you to 3 banks. So on one Saturday, you just raised yourself $30,000, 0% interest for up to 12 months, just like that.
Yeah, that shit is real.
And then you get the inquiries off. Come to Bellazone, we get the inquiries off. Run the play again, because there's so many credit unions. So this is how our clients are walking up to me on the street, be like, "Yo, I just raised myself $150,000." I was like, "I believe you." Yeah. Because they did it all on their own.
On a personal level, I was able to go to Alliant from your page, get a $10,000 credit card on Alliant with no prior relationship. They was like, "Oh, well, you out of state, blah blah blah. So we need you to send us some pay stubs." Sent that, verified it, $10,000 credit card.
Boom.
7 days.
I remember when I got with Navy, I got in with him, Navy Federal. We have a small battalion. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I got in there and yeah, it's real. I'm battalion chief. My lieutenant over there. Right. But I got my first credit card through them, and the limit wasn't crazy. It was like $7,200 at first. And couple months, I did a couple little BS loans, like the little Jones where you take the money, throw it right back in. Did a couple of them. Got the another card with them. Went back, got the Amex. Started me at $18,000. 2 months, they changed it to $22,700. And that's where I'm at with that. Then I got the other credit card. They gave me a dub on that. They was literally hitting me. Was like, "Yo, you want a line of credit?" I'm like, "No, I don't even need it." But then I double back. Was like, shit.
Always get money when you don't
and
need it.
I told him, I was like, I doubled back and got it. Then I went and got a personal loan. It's just like, they just throwing the money. I went and I got my dad a car, and I was like, I only wanted a certain amount. She was like, I can double it for you. I'm like, nah, that's just cool. But it's like, they'll just, it was for the car loan.
Oh, all right, for the car loan. Trying to burn me up, bro. I was like, what?
I'm like, nigga, don't you follow me on the ground?
Don't you follow me, bro? Get all that bread.
But I'm more so just saying, like, once you make the relationship, I'm giving you, like, what you're saying, like, once you make the relationship, they'll just throw it at you. It's just like.
Navy Federal play. You know the Navy Federal play, how to maximize how much money you can get?
What is it?
Apply in the middle of the night.
We
Apply in the middle of the night.
We have a battalion.
A small battalion.
But we have
a small, efficient, effective battalion.
I think the main misconception that people have too is like they're like, I can only have one business checking account. No, go to every single bank.
Every single bank.
Go run that up.
Run that up.
Just spend a day. Go get about 6-7 banks.
No, but he's the king of that. Just finding banks. Like, dog. Like,
finding banks that have really good, man.
He finding banks. You got to join this. We got to run in the Boston Marathon, but they let you in after.
But they let you in after that, right?
Yeah, he'll find the
we
banks.
tried to run, what was the play that we tried to run? United Nations. They was like, nah. I set up a recurring donation to the United Nations trying to get in because I had a volunteer employee number. I'm like, I'm getting in.
They was like, nah.
They was like, nah. I tried.
To get into the United Nations credit union.
Shout out to that $200 that I donated.
You know what I'm saying? It's a write-off.
It's a write-off.
Yeah. But same situation like you saying going around, meeting banks, putting money in here, just you be surprised.
Be surprised what you get. A really good bank down south, AOD, credit unions.
Hold on. Write this down. Hold on now.
AOD, credit union, they giving 3% cash back, right? And you guys know I do the manufacturer spend all crazy. That's like free money. So that you can't find a bank that's giving 3%. So
a lot of Jones now, they've clipped it down to 2, and now they even got Jones like the city double cash, the 2 is split up. You get the one when you buy, then the one when you pay. It's kind of crazy.
So when I found that, I was right on it. So it's a great little manufacturer spend and play. Everybody who know what that is, it's free cash.
Yeah.
Free cash.
Again, scenarios. Herm, I saw something on your business page. You made $183,000 in student loans vanish from somebody's credit. How, Sway?
Okay. So let's talk about that for a second. So the person, their credit was the first thing. Of course, their credit was trash, right?
Of course, the
credit was garbage, right? So they came to us because all the loans that they had from Navient, it was charged off, right? A bunch of late payments on it, right? So we have to go to the law, right? Fair Credit Reporting Act. You got to understand the consumer laws. This is how we start to fight credit now instead of just the regular old dispute letters. So number one, Navient needs permission, right? My permission to report anything to my credit report. So anything that's on your credit report, you are in control of your credit report. If I don't want it on there, right, per the Fair Credit Reporting Act, I can dispute that, right? Like, no, I didn't give you permission to put that on there, so you have to. So I call the credit bureaus and be like, did I give you permission? So you have to remove it. There's no silver bullet with credit repair, so there's different angles that we have to use. That's number one. Number two, that specific person, because I remember that person, if there is mistakes on your credit report, right, that's another way that you have to dispute things. The Fair Credit Reporting Act, the laws that govern this stuff, says that if your credit report is not 100% verifiable and 100% accurate, then that item has to be removed. So in that case, the person, if something is charged off, right, that means they sold the debt to somebody else. So on the credit report, he still had a balance. You can't have sold the debt and I still owe you money.
So that's a loophole.
So that's the second way that I attack them also. The third way I attack that is that the dates on the each credit bureau was different. So TransUnion said that he opened up the loan February 1st. Equifax said that he opened up March the 3rd, right? So that's clearly a mistake. Who's lying? So what I did was I printed out the credit report and we sent them to each other. Be like, yo, you guys said this, but Equifax says that. You guys says this, but TransUnion said that. So we disputed it that way. Disclaimer, student loans, especially if you get it from the government, right? Federal loans, you will always owe the money. Always. You can't, even if you go into bankruptcy, you will always owe the money. My job is to just get it off your credit report.
Right.
Whether you owe the money or not, that's not my business. People are like, yo, do I still have to pay because you got it off my credit report? Listen, Federale, I don't know. I don't know who sent you, but pay your debts. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But for the feds, though, you have to pay back that money. But the 108 is off his credit report, and now he's able to make the moves that he needs to make.
So say if there was some guy and his name was Fad Kane, and and he had $57,000 from SunTrust student loans. Is that something that in a alternate universe could get removed?
Absolutely. If it's a closed account, right?
It's not a closed account.
Yeah. So if it's open, is it in good standing?
It's in good standing.
Why delete it? So I get those calls also, right? It's in good standing. It looks good on your credit report. So
you be paying your student loan? What Fad do?
Every now and again.
Oh, you're a good guy, man.
That's wild. So it's important to not delete good accounts off your credit report because they actually help you.
Yeah.
So like my student loans, right? I keep it on my credit report. I can pay it off if I want or I can close it. But my student loan's like 22 years old. That long line on my credit report,
age.
That looks sexy as hell, right? And I got it deferred, right? I keep deferring it, but it looks paid.
That's what I'm doing.
Month.
I keep deferring. I was able to go back. Fad was able to go back and get all the negatives taken
off.
Yeah, make the good faith payment to bring it up to date. Get all the negatives taken off, so it's in full and good standing for like 16 years.
Yeah, so don't delete it.
Don't delete it.
It looks great on your credit report. So like a lot of my clients when when because that person, believe it or not, who we took that the student loans off, and other people who like their repossessions or something negative, their scores drop. They're like, well, why they drop? I was like, because the time is gone, the age is gone. If you deleted something 20 years, I have an 800 credit. It would go, my score would drop to 700, just because of that good time was taken off. So.
Yeah, one of my homies, he mentioned a situation where his mom had him on a Discover card from like right when he was born.
Right.
The shit was like 28 years old. And his mom just like, for whatever reason, just doesn't use the card or close the account or whatever. And he was like, yo, I lost like 75 points. Just strictly from that. Because you had a card that's almost 30 years old on your jump.
That's why it's good for you guys that are listening to have at least 2 or 3 credit cards on your credit report that belong to you, not authorized users. And, and keep them maintained, because the older they get, the stronger your profile gets, because your score is going to go up and down all the time, because you're going to pay off car notes all the time. There's different loans you're going to apply for and close. When they close, your scores are going to drop. But because you got a good foundation of 2 or 3 credit cards that's not going to close anytime soon, then you should be in good shape.
Yeah, that's real. That's
all right. So going back to talking about the $50 million in funding from 2021, can you break down the 50 and how it was distributed?
What industries?
Yeah.
So the most popular industry, of course, is guess what? Trucking. No, actually, that's funny you say that. Yeah, a lot of people got into trucking. Last year. Real estate.
Okay.
Real estate.
I'm in Philadelphia.
Real estate. Truck. He's like hair. Yo.
Fuck I said lashes.
He's like lashes? That sounds good. Survey says. Good answer.
Can you imagine lashes being a bigger industry than real estate?
Trucking really took a big spike during the pandemic. I'm gonna keep it real. I made a crap load of money on trucking during the pandemic,
absolutely,
because that was the only thing moving.
That's the only thing moving.
$10,000-$20,000 checks a month was looking real good.
But real estate, of course, it was easier to get the bag funded. Half of that money was real estate. Number 2 was trucking, and number 3, business consulting. Because I was telling everybody what to say.
Yeah,
and the rest went to business consulting.
I'm gonna ask y'all both of this question. What do y'all think about the presence of like hard money lenders as far as being able to execute and complete real estate deals? Is that something that y'all like kind of like steer y'all clientele to?
I think it really varies, because I have some experience with some hard money lenders who are the actual hard money lenders. Like they're giving out money to certain individuals, and they get burnt a lot. You know what I mean? Because it's their money and no creditors are really coming after them. Like, you're going to go through the legal system. Litigation is probably going to take you like 2 years to really get your money back.
Right.
If that person doesn't even have the money, then you're pretty much lost. I think the best route that people can really go is going through the banks.
Okay.
Because you get to build that relationship there, right? When you're going through a hard money lender, you could build that relationship too, but it's the interest rates are way higher. Yeah, they're way higher, but you'll get lower interest rates based on your credit when you go through the banks.
So everything has its reasons in its space, right? There's a space for hard money lenders because people credit aren't good and they need the capital, right? So this is where you're gonna go first because you have no place to go. So when I first did my first real estate deal, it was through a hard money lender, and then you can always refi out the deal when it's time. You don't need to have the best of credit. I think 620, 630, and 20% down, and people get the 20% down from what? From business credit that I give them, right? And now they're in the game. So it has its space in there, but it's not something you want to do long term because the money is expensive. So after you've built up your own capital, and you've built relationships with different banks, like you could become your own hard money lender, your own banks, like Univest in Philly, TD Bank, right? Penn Community Bank out in Ben Salem. They're giving $100,000 line of credit for each of them, right? I got a $100,000 line from Penn Community. I'll do the video to show you the receipt. That thing is costing me about $500 a month if I max out $100,000. That same $100,000, I go to a hard money lender, they're going to charge me 12, 13, 14, 15%.
Yeah.
Easy.
You know easy. And then when I refi it, I got to pay the points, the application fee, right? Or if I had the $100,000 line because I did my due diligence, I built up my own credit, I got the $100,000 line, I fix up this property, I cash out refi, no loans, no nothing, I just pay back the loan. Right? Pay back the line of credit. Guess what? I just use the line of credit again. I don't have to reapply for another loan, pay fees again. Right. So it's in your interest. Lack of knowledge costs us a lot of money. Bad credit costs you a lot of money because you got bad credit, so you have to pay the hard money lender. And being poor costs you a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right. So all those things we have to pull ourselves out of.
What would you rather be? And I know this is a crazy question though, Herm, because you just saying that just made it pivot in my head. Would you rather be poor with good credit, or would you rather be in a stable position with bad credit?
I'll rather have good credit. I mean, poor with good credit, because the capital I can get is almost limitless, right? But you don't. If you're poor, you probably have a poor mindset.
I was gonna say because that's you, because you're armed. You're thinking about the scenario where you're armed with the knowledge to be able to go and find the money,
run the play again. So I could lose everything right now and be poor. I know how to fix the credit, and I know how to build it up again. It's just all I do is need time. Now, when I said the sentence, being poor is expensive, small little story real quick. I was on South Street for some reason. And right, but this is a while ago. Right? I was on
It
South
must have been
Street.
the 80s.
Yeah, it must have been the 80s. It must have been the 80s.
South Street is the war zone now.
It's a war zone now. Who would have done that, right?
You're right. South Street.
Went to South Street, literally went into the store, walked back out, my car was gone, right? Tow truck took it. So what I did was I called the Uber, right? Went down to South Philly, go get my car.
Wacaco Street.
Right. Y'all just got my car. They was like, all right, cool. The ticket was $300. The tow fee, blah, blah, blah. It was probably like $500 to get my car out. I was like, all right, pulled out the Amex, paid it, and I'm on my way within the hour. This is why being poor costs you money, right? I'm sitting there as I'm waiting, and somebody got like a $250 ticket plus the toll fees and everything, and they're in tears.
Yeah.
Right? Because they don't have the $250, right? Then they got to be put on a payment plan, right? But they're not going to get paid till next Friday. So because they're not going to get paid the next Friday, the car sits there for 7 days, and there's daily fees on top of that. Right? All because they didn't have credit to get it out immediately, or they didn't have cash to get it out immediately. So being poor literally costs that person money. And now, once they get the car, guess what? They in the whole $500-$600 that they got to come out of. And they're making $10-$15 an hour. And they got rent to pay, and they got this to pay.
Yeah.
So it literally costs them money because, and I felt bad for the person because they weren't educated on, I was like, man, I could have definitely helped you out that situation if you were set up properly. So that's why it's very important for me to get this information out to people, that we got options out here and that we don't have to be in this matrix and be slaves to it.
So if you got somebody right now, like you said, scenarios, you got somebody working, doing anything, whatever, they got a job or doing their little side hustle, whatever, and they're on a tip like, all right, I got a bigger ambition, bigger dreams. Where do they start? Like, what should be the first thing?
Go to Kevin first.
Go to Kev?
Yeah, get the LLC, get that together. But I want to stress this, though, because remember I said everybody's not an entrepreneur.
Right.
Before you go and get a bag, make sure you have a play. Like, how are you going to flip this money? You got a play, but you ain't got no money. You got a mindset, but you ain't got the bread. I tell people all the time, the money part is easy. Like, no, it's not. I'm like, no, getting the money is very easy.
Listen, to that point, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I think that there's a disconnect with black people in understanding that money is in abundance.
Yeah, it's just
because
too
we're
much.
so used to being poor and being in, dire straits or whatever the case may be. We don't understand that money is everywhere. And that how easily you can go and find $50, $35, $100,000.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I think that is a large barrier to entry for a lot of us taking that next step forward.
Yeah, exactly.
Money comes easily, frequently, and abundantly.
Yeah.
So it just varies, right? So I have people who come up to me and different clients and people who call for like my consultations. They have no idea what they want to do. They just want to be rich, right? Well, they'll be like, hey, Kevin, I want to do exactly what you do. I'll be like, well, it took me X amount of years to be able to do what I do. Well, I want to jump into credit repair, so I'm going to start learning the credit repair game. Be like, great, so what's going to differentiate you from everybody else who's doing credit repair? What changes you? What are you doing differently? How are you educating yourself to do that? And I think that's where it really comes into, one, your circle, your surrounding, right?
Bruh.
So Herman is big on auditing your circle. I remember when he did that TED Talk in Atlanta at the Fox Theater about like a few months ago, and he said that line, it really resonated with me specifically because that's what we did with our group. Like it's a core of us. It's 13 of us in total who all wear these chains, right? Rock is actually our financial group that we started as a group of friends. It's Rock Financial Group. But, you know, when we were younger, everybody was calling us the Rock Boys. So
Right.
that name just stuck with us, and we started a business with it. But, you know, if everybody would have brought in their small circle of friends, because everybody has their own small groups outside of, you know, your group, but those small groups, and didn't really audit to become what we are today, all of our friends are successful right now. Every single person within our friend group is making over $100,000, is a millionaire, making some type of money because they audited their circle, they learned how to execute, and then they listened. A lot of things that we did growing up, and especially within these last 4 years, was taking risk, all right? There were plays where we bought houses in another state that didn't go well, you know what I mean? There were plays where we went into trucking, lost $250,000 to start.
Oh, man.
It's a bad job.
Man, that was a bad job. That was a hurtful one. But you know, like I said, it's just paying your tuition and really just educating yourself, auditing your circle, and executing. Those are the three main factors that you have to do to be successful, right? So when people want to start businesses, like, do these things, come to me, figure out what you want to do, create a strategy. If you don't know what you want to do, there is a product and a service for everything.
No, that's real.
For everything. There's somebody who puts nails in the stools. Somebody manufactures that nail. The metaverse is coming out right now. You think there's not about to be a crap ton of stuff that comes out?
What did you say last week? Buttons
and zippers.
Yeah, like, but no, the audit in the circle thing is, I think that's something I've been big on the last couple of years. And I even to myself, when people be like, I want to do this or I want to be successful, and it's like, you can't possibly hang in with them.
Like, I don't believe you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah.
You know
The first thing you got to do is put the 40 ounce down.
Yeah, like, you know, I look at young women and it's like, why are you hanging in this situation? Like, why are you in this environment? Why are you at this place all the time? It's like, you can't possibly want certain things and be in the midst of this, fighting and doing crazy. One and one got to make two. And we talked about that last week, like, really getting to the part of life where everybody around you is like moving. Right. And has like a ambition and a drive
And some form of utility.
Some form of wanting to do something greater than what's going on right now. Yeah. And I'm like appreciative of that, being in the place I am now where I got the people around me because it's like I look back on years and it's just like, damn. Like, yo, like I was around some real fucking knuckleheads. And it's just like, yeah, like, you know, auditing your circle and being around the right people who really can help you when a situation go left, who can really steer you into the right direction when you need advice for something. That's a huge one.
You know who's really big on that, who I admire, who really put in work? PJ Kev. So PJ Kev is one of our good friends. Literally, we spoke at Black Enterprise 2 weeks ago. He was like, yo, Kev, I'm about to go to Monaco for the Grand Prix, like the big race or whatever. He was like, slide. I'm like, nah, man, I can't come. He's like, Kev, all I do is hang around bees, man. All I do is hang around billionaires. All I do is hang around billionaires, because when you audit your circle, there's no reason why that man is not going to be a billionaire. I swear to God. He started off with a private jet company, working for somebody else, and started his own private jet company called PJ Kev Approved. DJ Khaled, every Diddy, every celebrity is flying on his jet, all because he audited his circle, changed his core group, went and started his own thing. Now he's around millionaires and billionaires. Over the course of like 4 or 5 years, he's like major right now.
Man, that's crazy.
So it's very imperative that you change your surroundings.
Question for both of y'all. Are there any emerging industries that's out there that y'all see as being like the next thing that people should kind of like have on their radar now as far as possibly getting involved in?
Cannabis.
Cannabis. So you say cannabis and I say crypto in that metaverse. Like, we're going digital. I tell people to make our people understand it a little bit more. Like the 49ers team, right? They're named after, the 49ers, where in 1849 there was a gold rush and everybody went out there. So everything was backed by gold. That was the money back then. Mm-hmm. And then it became the fiat. It became that piece of paper that we have. Now it's transitioning again into digital currency.
In the blockchain.
Right. So in the blockchain. So like JP Morgan, Fidelity, these big banks are investing heavy into it. So pay attention to it, right? The money, the dollar is going to change again. We're in inflation right now. I think we're going to go into hyperinflation. They printed a lot of money, right? And it's worthless now, right? Where gas is $7, like that's scary. Yeah. So we need to educate our people to go into to start investing into the future. The future is crypto. The future is when it's gonna be crazy when the feds legalize marijuana.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
So the same white folk that put us into jail, right, are the same white folk that's making money off of this.
They're gonna be selling. They're gonna be selling bud in Walmart.
Yeah, they already got their licenses. They're already up. Yeah. So quiet as kept. Like we bought some land. We bought some acres out in the Midwest, and we're ready for the play too. Yeah. So you gotta put yourself in position and pay attention to what's going on, so you can invest in the future. So when that windfall comes, we was just sitting here waiting,
exactly,
ready for it to go. So those are the two things that we're.
Are there any particular cryptos that you like, as far as like maybe something that's just kind of starting to get its footing that you feel like is going to be like a big one going forward?
So this for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
So my guy Steve Bayon, he's my crypto mentor,
marketing guru. Shout out to Steve.
Shout out to Steve. I'm new to crypto, bro. I'm talking about like January.
Okay.
Because us as folk, we like, if I don't understand it, I ain't playing with it. I'm like, that don't make no sense.
They
bro.
scamming over there.
They scamming. I was like, bro, I said that. I was like,
ain't no way. This
bro,
is not
that's not money, bro. It's like
I seen Big Dan talk about crypto. They definitely scamming.
Crypto, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, Ripple is a really big one.
XRP.
Yeah, XRP. Ripple is a really big
You
one.
always talked about that one, didn't
you? Yeah, XRP. Yeah.
XRP. Yeah, because they're going through the lawsuit with the SEC right now. So and they're gonna win that.
They're gonna win that.
I think they're 49 cents a share.
Yeah.
So
once they win that,
it's gonna go through the roof. So
it's
buy
over.
up XRP right now.
So the lady, and I don't know if you guys saw this viral video that's going on right now. If you look at the money that's on your hand, it's in your hand right now. Her name is Rosie whatever. The 80% of the money that's been printed over the last 2 years, her name is on that dollar.
Okay.
Right. Obama hired her at the Treasury Department. Right. Treasury Secretary, and she's investing in Ripple. Right. So I'm paying attention what these rich folk are doing.
Right.
So whatever they doing,
that's what we doing.
I just want to have the crumbs.
Yeah.
Whatever. I just want to be there at the bottom, like catch the crumbs, and I'm paying attention. So that's what I'm invested in right now.
Oh yeah. Also, guys, definitely pay attention to Metaverse and also Web 3.0, which integrates with the Metaverse, because Web 3.0 is going to turn into the Wild Wild West, where people who weren't rich are going to become millionaires and billionaires, for the simple fact that you're able to monetize your dollar better with your marketing spend, and it's not going to be filtered like it is now. Mm-hmm. So like, let's say Herman wanted to start marketing credit, right? Right now, he can't pay for Facebook ads on credit repair. Like, he can't do it.
Can't do it.
It doesn't allow.
Oh, they'll knock it down.
It won't allow me. Right.
Allow him. But with Web 3.0, he's going to be able to do that. So if you got any products, services, you selling hair, you selling lash extensions, you're producing your podcast, and you want to just put those dollars out to get more exposure, do that shit.
Do that, yeah.
Like, do it.
That's the next internet.
That's the next thing.
We're in Web 2.0. The next is Web 3.0. So familiarize yourself with that, because that's what the next internet is going to look like.
Yeah, follow Alux. Alux on YouTube. I don't know if you guys follow that, but they have
Alux.
Alux. Yeah.
I've seen their shit a lot, a couple times. Yeah.
Alux has something on Web 3.0. Definitely look into that.
I'm gonna definitely look up to that.
Mindset YouTube channel. Super dope.
You got anything else you want to talk about?
This is amazing wealth of information, and we not even that long into this as far as like runtime. But man, y'all guys is just.
I want to hear the story.
Machine gun.
I want to hear the story.
It's free information.
Because I know what we're doing is a specific lane of trucking. Right. And you brought up the drive. I have to know, how did things go left with? You said y'all had a real bad situation.
So it's all about. Shout out to Meek, expensive pain, number one.
Expensive pain. Shout out to
number
Meek.
Number two, not understanding what you're about to invest in and who you're about to invest in. Right? Okay. So I'm glad I learned it now, and not when I'm trying to make $10, $20 million deals.
Right. Also, don't listen to your brother when he says handshake deals, because I was the one who was talking about make sure a contract was in place. So I just had to put you on the spot real quick right there.
All right. Thanks.
Everybody needs to put something in writing. Right, yeah. If somebody doesn't want to sign a contract, don't do business with them. Period.
So we invested in some trucks. The trucks are running. We never got paid for them. Right, and then the trucks are just non-existent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so $250,000 gone.
Meta trucks.
Yeah, meta trucks. Yeah.
Actually, I went to go see those. I went to go see the trucks because I went down there.
Meta trucks is funny as shit.
I went down there to go and get them. I went to Texas to go and get them, and they were like, our trucks wasn't running. Gatorade bottles, Wawa wrappers, toothpaste, because they're sleepers. So everything was in there, and then they had MCDOT numbers on the side of them, which weren't our company's names. So we're like, whoa, what's happening?
The motherfucker just basically took the trucks and started a whole other company.
Missing bumpers.
Oh, wow.
Rock through the windshield, like random Jones up, random bad boys up.
You ever
in a bag?
I'm not sure if this is the book, but I want to say it's The Richest Man in Babylon.
Familiar with the book?
Yeah. So one of the stories where the guy, I guess his mentor taught him. This is loosely taught him, hey, save your money and then invest. So he saved his money. His mentor was like, great. He's like, I'm gonna go invest now. So he invested in like jewelry or whatever, and he got burnt. So his mentor was like, why'd you invest in jewelry? He's like, oh, because the bricklayer told me to invest in jewelry. So he's like, oh, so you went to a bricklayer and told you to invest in jewelry and you lost your bread? He's like, oh, that's on you.
Yeah, of course you did lost your bread.
Always go to an expert, always sign your contracts, and always do your due diligence on investing in yourself or in anybody. So even in the products, when I tell people, when people want to go, I tell people invest in yourself because that's the greatest ROI, right? Mm-hmm. So I used to be a software tester too after I finished social work, right? So I gave the guy like $5,000 for his class. My first job was $85,000. 2 years later, my second job was $125 plus 10% bonus every year. So the ROI was crazy, right? Because I went to an expert in this space. Mm-hmm. There's certain people who make money selling you their product, but they don't do the product. Another reason why I post my results all the time, right?
I was gonna go into that next.
Yeah, like no, I don't make money. Like I just started doing mentorship last year, but for the years before that, no, I really do fix credit and I really do fund people money. And now I'm just teaching you how to do it. I make a bag doing it, but best believe that's my primary business. That's what I do. So always go to the people who really do this for a living, who really do this. They could shut down their mentorship. They could shut down their courses tomorrow, and they still gonna make a bag. They doing you a favor by having classes.
Now, I was going to say, some of these classes, they'll be a little janky.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's some scammers over there. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But I was more so going to ask, when you start in a business, are you all about OPM, like getting funded through a bank, or?
I will never use my money.
Okay.
Ever. It could be 10 million sitting in the bank. I'm always going to use somebody else's money because that's what the rich do. They never use their money. Never. I'll never use my money. I always start off with, I probably put a little down payment.
Right.
But
how much? 2,000.
So if I give you 10, you're gonna give me $150. All right, here's 10.
Right.
Yeah.
My boy's brother was the chief strategy officer over at Twitch, right? They sold to Amazon for $1 billion. He probably walked away with like 100 million, 2 million, 200 million, right? He started up another company. He raised $1.2 million in 1 week Series A funding. Mind you, he made $200 million off the deal.
Yo, they give me 50. Come on, you got this play. They give me 50.
Bro, like $1 million, bro. That's not even 1%. Just give him the $1 million. But and billionaires and multimillionaires gonna do it.
It's funny because I had a talk with a guy who lives in my building, and we just randomly, because I got a new car. We were talking about that. His car is very similar with color or whatever, and we just were having a conversation. And he was telling me how he used to work here, and he stopped, and he started transitioning into being an entrepreneur. Now he's got this, and he did this, and we built this up, sold this, we did this. White guy, and he had a box full of money, and he was telling me he was about to go do something or whatever. And then he was like, he had a play that was going on, whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you got all the cash, you know what I'm saying? And same situation. He's like, yeah, no, we get some funding over here because I know VC guys and da-da-da-da. Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, no, this is for my weed. You know, like, you got to pay cash for that shit.
You got to pay cash for that.
Yeah. So he's like, no, when it comes to the business, I'm going to get somebody else for somebody else.
Cash is real. Like,
and a lot of people, like, at least from where I think, people be like, yeah, no, when I get my income tax, niggas get the income tax. I'm opening up amusement park.
I'm on Six Flags. You know what I'm saying? I'm buying 4% of Six Flags.
I'm buying a roller coaster and get some little land. And it's like, people don't understand, like, you bringing it full circle, the credit part of it, where it's just like, if you got a job and you can raise up some money, raise up the money and work on your credit. Don't save up the bread because you trying to start a business. Right. Get your credit right. And then you can just go and
get way more money than you saving up.
You could save up 10 grand and work on your credit and then turn around and turn your credit into 75.
I have 2 stories to tell you. One is about taxes, right? I'm gonna get to that in a second. Yeah.
We gotta do that too.
But speaking of credit, right? So shout out to the CEO, the new CEO coming in for Bellastone Enterprises, Damaris Long, right? Shout out to her. We was out on our West Coast for like a week, right? Just doing business. We walk into Fendi, and there's this lady there. She's paying for these Fendi shoes, right? So I'm always networking. So if you in Fendi, you got a couple dollars, right? So I'm like, So I'm like, so what do you? So I love to be like, well, what do you do? So, but before I could have an opportunity to do that, she's paying for these $2,500 shoes in cash. So I was like, oop, that's a client. So I walk up over to her. I was like, in $100 bills. I was like, what you doing? Yeah. She's like, I'm straight. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, why are you paying that in cash? She's like, man, where the credit at? She's like, nah, like I got it. I'm like, nah, man, you gotta get the credit, right? Because that $2,000, you could have paid it on a credit card and got points or cash back on it. So you would have made money using it. You still would have got the shoes, right? And then if something happens to the shoes, you put it on a credit card, especially with an American Express Platinum, anything happen, you just give it back and it's not going to be no problem. So she looking at me like, what? She's like, well, what do you do? So then I'm giving her game and explaining to her because she didn't have the knowledge. And her husband is a stay-at-home dad. Right, so he's cash heavy. I was like, nah, my man liquid, right? So I was like, nah. So I started giving her game on what he can do to 10x, and she was like, yo, that's crazy. So networking in that opportunity I saw, and then Damaris went and exchanged numbers, and she took it to the left. But I want to talk about income tax and refund checks.
You hate this.
That joint burns me up.
He hate them.
I hate it.
You hate the income tax CEOs?
I hate the income tax CEOs. Let me help my people out, right? Real quick. Income tax checks is stupid, right? I say this, it's one of the first things I teach in my mentorship. I'm not a tax professional. Please talk to your tax professional. Disclaimer. Disclaimer. It's for entertainment purposes only. Okay, so let me get this straight, right? So where the average person is taxed 25 to 30% of their income, right? Yep. Just off rip for no reason because you don't have an LLC. That's another conversation, right? W-2, right? Because you earned your money, you're going to be taxed higher, right? Okay, cool. So that's 30%. That means you're working from January to March, technically for free.
Right.
But because the government told you that we're going to pay something on it, you could pay it off over 12 months, right? But your grandma and your mama said, because they're financially illiterate also, they told you, make sure you make that joint 0 so that you can get a nice income tax check in January. So you gave the government, right, extra money, right? And especially if you have kids. So that means, let's say $5,000, you get a little $6,000 in January. So you gave the government $5,000 to $6,000 interest free for 12 months.
Gave the government an interest-free loan.
You gave the government an interest-free loan, and it's hundreds of millions of y'all doing that. Yeah. And then in January, when they give you back your goddamn money, you dancing around, bro. They gave you the money you worked for, and they held it.
It's your bread.
It's your bread. It's not extra bread. It's your money. So I tell my mentees, stop being a clown and adjust your W-2s.
Chill, so that's their savings account.
Nah, they clowns, man. No, it's not a savings account, right? So adjust your W-2 so you don't owe them money and they don't owe you money, right? I want my money right now. I got bills to pay right now. So I use this strategy and I tell my clients, hey, I can show you how to pay off your credit card debt or how to pay your car note without getting a second job. That's clickbait. Everybody be like, what? So now I'm like, yo, adjust your damn W-2s. Yeah. So now that $300, $400, $500 extra you're getting every other check, put something on that debt. So now that instead of you paying the minimum payment on that credit card debt, you're in $5,000 instead of paying $100, now you're putting $500 on it. Now that debt is killed. So now because you did that, not only did you save money, you save time, and now you have your own bread in your pocket and you don't owe the government any money and they don't owe you any money. Give me my money right now so I can get out of debt a lot faster, so I can pay this car off a lot faster. Instead of you taking that money and buying a Fendi bag or going to Miami in February and blowing the entire bag, but you still in credit card debt, clown. All right, that's it. That's my little rant.
That was great.
I hate refund checks.
You're so angry at that.
No, I I heard somebody a couple years ago say that he basically changed his W-2 to where at the end of the year he don't owe nothing, but he don't get nothing.
You don't get nothing. Yeah,
but he get his bread.
Every
week, every other week.
Give me all my money.
I remember when I used to do corporate sales, I worked for Enterprise Fleet for like 5 years or whatever, and I was doing corporate sales and stuff, and we would literally, like, we lived in our business manager's office because we was getting these big commission checks, so they would allow us to change our tax elections all the time. Like, you could literally change it like every week. So when we would get like our beginning of the month check, which is like your regular salary or whatever, we'd just leave it, whatever it is, 0, 1, whatever case may be. Before we get our commissions, if we knew we had a big commission coming, we go to the business manager's office, change our tax election to what was called like a flat tax, so that it took the minimum amount of money possible, and then we would go back, and then it would readjust on the lower check or whatever the case may be.
Taxes is ghetto, man.
It's stupid.
Yeah, so we gonna play the Trump game. We gonna play the business
we pay
game.
Taxes, Herman.
Yeah, all right. We pay our taxes. We pay all the taxes we are supposed to pay.
Exactly.
Not a penny more.
We're not paying a penny more. Not a penny more. We're gonna play the game that the laws are played. Can I give you a tax story real quick?
Of course.
So I got a tax story. Kevin's involved in this tax story. So when we first bought our trucks during the pandemic, right? We got them for super cheap, right? Because it's a pandemic, everything's on sale. By the way, during a recession, everything's on sale. So everybody get your credit right, get your line of credit, get your credit cards ready. Because everything about to go on sale.
The sale is gonna be.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be
for the fall.
It's Black Friday for the rich. All right, they getting their money together. Anyway, so I bought the 3 trucks. Went to my tax guy, and I need to write off these trucks. They were $50,000 each, and then he was like, "All right, bet. So how much the trucks make this year?" This is like September. I was like, oh, they didn't make nothing. They didn't make nothing yet. I'm still learning the trucking game. My first contract's gonna be in January. He's like, oh, all right. Now I have a great tax strategist. Shout out to Steve. He calls me every month or every 3 months. Yeah, we rap, right? So October comes. Hey, Herm, them trucks making money yet? Nah, bro, I told you January. The truck's gonna be up and running right now. They sitting. It's all good. He's like, all right. November come. Yo, Herm, what's up, bro? Just checking in. Hey, what's up, Steve? Them trucks running? Steve, the trucks ain't running, bro. January. He said, those trucks aren't running. I was like, bro, I ain't getting no contracts. Like, I'm focused on that right now. I'm getting this funded. I'm making a bag right now over here. I'm not really paying attention to that. December comes. Herm, he's Jewish, so he ain't calling me for Christmas, right? So he's like, Herm, them trucks running? Steve, bro, swear to God, bro, the truck's not running. He's like, Herm, you trying to tell me those trucks ain't going to make you any money before December 31st? No, Steve, those trucks are going to make me money. I'll call you right back. Yo, Kev, listen, I'm going to send you an invoice for like $500. Just pay it. Just pay the invoice. I got you. Pay it back, right? So now Kevin rented my trucks for commercial purposes, paid the invoice. Now I'm able to write off the $150,000.
Look, you trying to get me tied up. Look, I definitely.
All I did was follow the rules.
Trucks and I moved some product.
He moved some product. Did some
some bouncy houses.
Listen, hey, get your LLC, get funding, get a truck. He did a commercial in front of the truck. He rented them. You know what I'm saying? So just follow the rules. And now you have these benefits of these write-offs that they all have. And they've been using.
The only thing about making money is that your tax bills be high.
If you don't know how to write things off. You don't, you know what I mean? Like this, it's not an accident. I got this shirt on, all these circles.
Yo,
write it
let
off.
me tell you something. I just had a tax bill, and I just got it stamped in. 6-figure tax bill.
It's hurt. It's painful.
Your eyes water.
Painful.
Your eyes water.
Back start hurting.
My man gave me game. My man gave me game the other day. Shout out to PJ Kev again. We was at the Black Enterprise Summit. And I was telling him, I was like, yo, after this, I'm running to the IRS in Jersey so I could go get my taxes stamped in because I'm refinancing my house. So, you know, as an entrepreneur, they want your taxes stamped in. Like, they need to see it. They pulling that 4506T. That's going to take however long. They need to see that stamp. So I'm like, this is what my tax bill looking like. He's like, Kev, here's a play. Because billionaires do it. If you owe any taxes, right, you get on the payment plan. They have the option of the payment plan. Or you can use your American Express Platinum card, pay your taxes off on your Amex because the interest rate is lower than what the government is going to make.
I actually saw that on the credit sheet on YouTube.
Yeah.
And run it up that way. And he was like, bro, I just paid off monthly.
Because that interest from the government is crazy.
It's compound interest.
And I've been audited. So you're not talking to somebody who's scamming. I've been audited. I've been educated. I've been audited twice. And I've been educated by the auditor.
Somebody I know, he had a situation where he wound up getting like some tax return shit, mumbo jumbo shit went left, whatever. He got audited. Oh, you owe $20,000. And he was making the minimum payment. And he said he made the minimum payment every month for like 3 years.
3 years.
And he said he ran into some money through some other shit, and he wound up getting a couple more properties. And he was like, he still was paying the shit. He was paying it. He's like, now I'm on the 4th year of paying them every month. He said, yo, I'm sick of paying the IRS. So he's like, told his wife, let's refi one of the properties and just knock that shit out.
Yeah.
And he went, knocked it out. He went, refi it, called IRS. Yeah, how much, what's the balance? She told him the balance. He was like, impossible. Because that's what the balance was when I first started.
Yeah. That is, the interest rate is high.
And she said the interest compounds daily with the IRS. And she said, the lady told him, good thing you did this because you was going to pay that for the rest of your life.
Damn. Yeah, the interest rate is so high.
I'm like, what?
Pay the government.
$20,000 you paying that for the rest of your
He
life.
said
minimum.
She said the interest compounds daily.
Daily. Pay the government their money. And or make sure your documents are in order. When I got audited, and I was like, no, this was for business. And I sent them my bank statements. I was like, see, this is when I bought this for this. She's like, oh, thank you for giving me your bank statements. Now I can go through everything else. Because I didn't have what? I didn't have receipts. Right? So she's like, make sure you have receipts for everything. So there's not a thing I buy, I do, that I don't have a receipt for it. I take a picture, scan it into my app, I send it to my guy Steve, and he parse it out. Right? So bottle service in Vegas, you know what I'm saying? I'm writing it off. It's Steve's job to figure out, Herm, we're not doing that. Right? But I'm writing off as much as I can because I have the documents.
Yeah, my man Jules was on that same type of time. Like literally every single receipt, every single...
have your documents in order.
I think, and it's two topics that I want to talk about. One with commingling funds. Because a lot of entrepreneurs, what they do is that they commingle their personal funds with their business accounts. Like that. Stop doing that. Because if you get audited and you need to start pulling receipts and start seeing transactions, if you're making your personal transactions in that business account, it's kind of like what they call piercing the corporate veil, right? So even if somebody was to slip and fall on one of your properties and somebody was to sue you, a good lawyer will be like, all right, cool, we're going to do something called e-discovery. We're going to go through everything. Oh, you're using this here, so this is actually a personal charge. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, your business isn't legitimately a business. Yeah. And now you're done, right? That's how a lot of people was getting caught up with the PPP, right? So people were getting the PPP loans. They wasn't utilizing the money towards their business. What people don't know is, yes, you could have bought a car. You could have bought jewelry. You could have did all of that stuff. If you're a content creator, right, and you wanted to wear jewelry on this podcast, you could have bought jewelry to wear on this podcast and write it off. If you buy a Lamborghini and you put your Instagram tag name on there because you're doing business through that, you could have wrote that off. The reason people are getting caught up is because it wasn't legitimately for their business. That's why the feds are going after everybody. That's why people can't get their loans forgiven because they don't have the receipts to do it. You know what I mean? So literally when you manage your business the correct way, when you're not commingling funds, when you're using your money for your specific part of the business, bro, you're unstoppable. Like literally you'll get funding, you'll be able to do whatever you want. Just stop commingling the funds. That's the key, guys. Like business credit, if it makes it easier for you to just have a business credit card, put everything on your business credit card. Now you'll see all your business transactions right there. And now it's golden for you. Stop commingling.
I was going to ask, does it ever get to a point where like you don't have to like do the personal guarantor thing where like your business credit kind of outweighs personal stuff? Is that like a thing?
So it's two strategies to that. So you can go to the link in my bio, Haitian_CEO, and I have one of my favorite no personal guarantee business credit card. It's called Divvy, DIVVY. And what they do is they give you funding, business credit card, no personal guarantor, based on what's sitting in your business checking account or the money that's going through your business checking account. Yeah.
Okay.
So these are called fintech banks.
Okay.
They got hit to, all right, well,
Sort of like Chime and all that other stuff. Yeah,
they got hip to like, all right, well, his credit is trash, but he's making money though.
Right, because they all move off of your like personal.
Your personal, right. So now they're gonna look at your business. So your business is making money, right? All right, wait, you get this Divvy credit card, or another one is called Capital on Tap, right? Yeah. So these are no personal guarantee credit cards that you can get for your business. If your business is like 6 months old, they're gonna do business with you, right? Now, if you want to go to the real no business, no personal guarantee funding, that comes in another strategy. Number one, just like you have a credit score, your business has a credit score too, and you got to build it up. It's called your paydex score. Right. Number one, your paydex score has to be at least a 90. This is for no personal guarantee, right? In your business world, your credit the score goes from 0 to 100. So you have a 90 paydex score. Your revenue has to be over $2 million, and your business has to be over 2 years old. Now you're gonna
really know some shit.
Yeah,
he
was saying
that.
Yeah. Now you're gonna have access to capital, no personal guarantee, because Jeff Bezos is not personally guaranteeing anything. Yeah. His business is old and he has revenue. Once you have those things, your business gets access to capital. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But when you're first starting out, there's levels to the game. It's personal credit, it's business credit, and then it's corporate credit. Corporate credit is no personal guarantee. It's just based on the documents of my business. But when you're first starting out, you got to co-sign. Just like when you have a kid and they trying to get their first car note, you have to what? You have to co-sign for your kid because they never had credit before. Co-sign for your baby. Your business is a baby. You got to co-sign for it in the beginning. Once the revenues go up, have good relationships, they're not going to ask for you to personal guarantee anymore.
Pretty much know everything.
It's a blueprint. The guy knows what he's talking about.
Know a little bit. Know a little bit about a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. Now when it comes to scaling a business, right? And then dealing with the tax situation, like you just said, does it get to a point where it's like you said, for us, does it stay with that one person as the forefront, or should you be worried about everybody's name being in whatever it is when it comes to like taxes and shit like that?
So again, get a really good tax professional, a good CPA. So no, it doesn't stay with the person.
Okay, we might need Steve.
Yeah, you might need Steve.
Yeah,
the taxes,
more than one. We have two.
Yeah, we have more. Yeah. My lawyer I got a lawyer watching my lawyer.
Yeah, I mean you guys are.
So you need to remember this. You're not paying the taxes. Who's paying the taxes? The business. The business is paying the tax. So it's not stuck on you per se.
Right.
So my business, Bella Sloan, pays taxes to the government. Not necessarily me.
Okay.
So that's how you have to make sure your business is structured appropriately. You got to go to Kev, get that structured appropriately from the beginning, have the foundation set up, because Bella Sloan pay taxes, Herman doesn't.
Right.
So a little gem that I'm gonna give you guys. I know that LLCs right now in the U.S. are the most registered type of business entity. Limited liability.
Yeah, you had a lot. You was talking about this.
Limited liability companies. They are number one with being registered. A lot of people don't pay attention to corporations, right? So when we talk about corporations, we're just talking about a corp. A lot of people don't know how to differentiate between a corporation and an S corporation. A S corporation is not an actual business entity. It is a tax designation, right? So that's just some free game for you. So when you look at the tax situation, right? So all of you guys are all going to go into business together. If you register an S corp, which I would suggest for you to do, because that's going to be easier to pay out the dividends, right? Because each of you will be employees of your business when you have an S corp, right? So when you file for an S corp, you need to be generating at least $5,000 a month, which, yeah. So right. So when you're filing, right? The business needs to at least be doing $50,000 a year or $5,000 a month, right? Just a key gem. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go to a payroll company, ADP, Paychecks. They're gonna file W-2s for you guys. So now you guys are employees of that corporation. So now they're gonna be paying you. You file your payroll every Wednesday or whatever the case may be, whatever your dividends are, you just get paid through that. Now you're getting your taxes taken out of it. So when the IRS comes, your taxes are already taken out of it. The payroll system is literally calculating everything that's going on with your business and removing all taxes for it. Now, if you want to go buy a house and they're like, I don't want to use my business name. Now I'll just use my W-2s. Now you have W-2s to go buy a house.
And at the end of the year, they give you nice, concise reporting about everything, how much employee tax you paid out, how much corporate tax you paid out, all of that different stuff. I literally worked for ADP for a year also.
They'll do it for you. So that's the easiest way to do it. If you don't want to go through the strenuous things, the strenuous
Now, you mentioned us doing an S corp to have protection.
Yeah.
Right.
The difference is, just the biggest thing is like, all right, so, with LLCs, it's literally a limited liability company. So your liability is limited, but you're not completely sheltered from liability in the event that the whatever is being brought against you exceeds the liability or the protections that the company
That's
has.
where piercing the corporate veil comes in.
Exactly. Right. So it's like, when you talk about like a C corp versus an S corp, like he said, an S corp is really down to the tax designation, but with a C corp, you have to issue shares. Like that's more additional paperwork and stuff that you got to issue. That's a part of your corporate structure or whatever that has to be out there. Like, so if the company initially starts off with 10,000 shares, you got 2,500, he got 2,500, I got 2,500, Jules got 2,500. Or if it's not that, then it needs to be expressly written on who has what, whatever the case may be. And there's more filing that goes into a S corp, a C corp versus an S corp.
Okay, so basically all businesses are LLCs then.
At minimum, yeah.
My holding company is a corporation.
Yeah. At minimum, get your LLC, just get some type of protection.
Yeah.
But we want everybody to get into the C corp and S corp game to give yourself.
Yeah, he's been adamant about the S corp thing, so it's like, yeah.
And if you really want to play the big boy game, have a trust that protects all your businesses, all your assets also.
Yeah. So this is also free game with the trust play. So if you have a holding company, companies that are holding companies, Alphabet owns Google. You have Amazon Holdings, which owns Amazon Prime, Whole Foods, et cetera, right? These are all holding companies. That holding company is actually owned by the trust, right? Then you have your holding company. Underneath your holding company, you're going to have your subsidiaries, right? So with me, I have 1990 Holdings, Inc. Then I have 1990 Business Consulting, 1990 Healthcare, 1990 Management Consulting, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All of my LLCs are underneath that as a subsidiary. All those LLCs are owned by the holding company. The holding company is owned by what? The trust. What does Kevin own?
The trust.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Right.
I own nothing.
Yes,
It's like a game of Clue.
So if you want to come and sue me,
What are you
try
saying?
it.
Yeah, you can't.
I don't own.
Where's
I
that
don't,
holding company located? Wyoming.
All right,
In a
so
hidden state. So it's like
two
So
things.
it's like good scam. Like, it's
good
like
scamming.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not.
You know what? Kevin is a scammer. Yeah, this is good scamming. It's good scamming.
So two things. One, I'm going to circle back to the Wyoming, Nevada, Delaware, Utah. We'll circle back to that. But one of the more, I look at like acquisitions and mergers a lot. Like I know like the history of like the Beats by Dre deal, the Smart Water deal. Something that was interesting about the Smart Water deal was the fact that it was an anodized trust. And when they got bought by Coca-Cola, the way they paid the money out, because it was a trust, it deferred all the investors' payment, but it sheltered them from the tax liability, so that they ended up getting damn near all the money that they were supposed to get because it was an anodized trust versus just a regular C Corp or S Corp or whatever that was acquired by this other company. So that was something that was interesting that I found about trust and how that works. So what are the benefits of setting up your corporation, your LLC, whatever, in those more corporate-friendly protected states, the Delawares, the Utahs, the Nevadas?
When you talk about Delaware, the reason why a bunch of the corporations, the large corporations, are registered there is because, as everybody knows, it's tax-free. The taxes.
Yeah, we're incorporated out of Delaware for this podcast.
Yeah. So another thing in Delaware, do you guys have a brick and mortar in Delaware or a physical location, or are you guys using like a?
We're using a mailbox.
Using a mailbox. So that's interesting, and I think this might have. I don't know how long ago you guys incorporated, but now Delaware is not allowing you to have a PO box or a virtual office. They want you to have an actual physical location. So it's become a little bit different. But in regards to registering in those states, the benefits of registering in Nevada, Wyoming, Delaware, and New Mexico, the 4 hidden states, is because you want to remain anonymous. If somebody comes and sues you, do you want them to know who they're suing?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So why am I going to give you my information so you could come to me with a lawsuit? I'm going to make you go down in a rabbit hole because you're not suing my trust. Who are you going to come after? You're not suing anybody. I'm invisible. My money is invisible. Prime example of somebody who messed up crazy is Dr. Dre. He had $700 million liquid in his bank account. His wife asked for half of everything, and she won. And the reason why she won is because he didn't have a trust set up, right? Oh, I had a prenup, da-da-da. Why do you own anything, bruh? Why is anything even in your name? Why is that money not in a trust bank account?
Right.
So now she sees, I've seen the bank accounts, I've seen that he's liquid. If he didn't own that money, he would have been straight. But because he said that he owned the money, give me that. Pay me $3 million a month. So if you set up everything correctly, you're not going to get sued. Well, you'll get sued. If you're not going to get sued, they'll try to sue you. They're not going to win.
It won't be anything there.
It won't be anything there. So you can come after Kevin Dolce and try to sue Kevin Dolce. Okay.
I don't own anything.
I don't own anything.
I ain't got it.
So what you going to take?
So how do you go about setting up a trust? Is that like a is that like a
you got to pay for that game. I think.
No, I'm not more so the ABCD of it, but I'm sure you don't just walk into somewhere like, yo, where the trust at.
So, you can definitely come to Bellastone Enterprises. We can definitely set you up. We partner with some law firms that can put you in a position to set up your situation. Because everyone, we get our LLCs, we get our S corps, we get all that, and then we stop there because we saw a couple of things on Instagram and we just weren't educated. But to protect all of that, definitely get a trust, irrevocable or revocable trust, depending on what your business needs and what your family needs. Definitely do that. So just to double back, remember I was giving you the insurance situation, right? So my trust is the beneficiary of my life insurance policy, not my children, right? So so this is me controlling everything beyond the grave. Y'all watch Power, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right, so you saw Ghost was giving rules out beyond the grave because everything was in a trust, right? So there's instructions. So I pass away, the trust gets the money, and the trust, the instructions are my kids get 10% of what's in the trust bank account. Because that money, well, wherever it's going, right? Can't say it out loud. That money, those dollars are being invested, right? And I want my kids to live off the interest. So that's how the Rockefellers and these other families, that's what trust fund babies are, where they're living off of the interest, but that capital is being the interest rate is growing significantly, compounding every single year, right? And they're just living off of the interest. And then what we are teaching our people and our children is that, we keep burying everybody with fish fries and GoFundMe. GoFundMe is not an insurance policy.
Absolutely not.
Insurance is really cheap, $20, $30 if you get it young enough, right? Something happens to you, you live in $500,000, $1 million to the next generation. Right. But I'm not going to hand the 18-year-old that money. I'm going to put it in a trust with some instructions, right? And then that $1 million turns to the next generation, and they just live off the interest. That $1 million turns into $4 million for my grandkids. Mm-hmm. So literally, a wise man leaves wealth for his children's children. So my children, Bella and Olivia, are already rich. My job is to make sure their children are wealthy.
Right. Yeah, if you leave a bill as opposed to a windfall for your family when you die, you lived your life the wrong way.
Insurance is a love letter from the grave. So make sure you put yourself in position and your family in position. You can fund insurance with business credit, but that's just we just gonna go too long.
Y'all got the keys, man. Y'all got the keys.
Shit.
We told y'all this was gonna be the ultimate credit episode. I think we didn't touched on credit, insurance, scaling. We went in a whole bunch of different directions, man. Right. This is like the ultimate life episode.
Right, life hack.
Life hack, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Life hack. But I had a good time. This was dope.
Yeah, I'm like
you look stuck a little bit.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you how you can. I'm not gonna tell you.
Bearded brother that did all these gems.
Liquidate the business credit card, put the money in the trust, take it right back out. So now you funded your own life insurance policy. Take the money back out, invest it. It's crazy.
These are the things that they don't want you to know, but billionaires do it. So
it's crazy because
these are like the pillars of society of how our country got built.
This is the 1%.
This is
In
it.
God we what? Trust.
Yep.
Like me and him, we've become like to the people that listen to us. They listen to us. They look to us for like
we're trusted advisors.
Advisors. We some influencers. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's very, very few times where I talk to somebody and it's just like the things that they throw out are so like pow, 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 like to where it's just like, damn, I never really thought about that way or that. Like, we hear the term trust all the time.
Right.
But even down to like power, where it's just like, yeah, like Ghost really was like, no, Tasha can't do this. Tariq got this, that, and the third. The other daughter we forget about, she get a little something like. It's just like. Damn, like trust fund baby is like a real thing. And we just, as black people, who the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just.
Trusts are funded through insurance policies or through, parents who really have money and they put the money in there and leave instructions. And then the money is generational and it's forever.
And like he just said, like people, we really have gotten to a place in society where it's just like, oh, so-and-so dead, or the GoFundMe up.
Yeah.
And it's just, my mom passed away. We had insurance, and like, I remember that was like, as crazy as it sounds, I remember that was like kind of like a diss.
What do you mean?
Like, cause I remember I bought a car that summer. My dad was like, I'm gonna get you a car. So I just graduated high school. It was like, oh, you got the insurance joint for the whip. And it's just like, yeah, my mom wasn't a dickhead. Like,
what do you want from me?
You mad at me? Like, what the fuck? Yeah. And it's just like, but we as people, and over the years, it's almost like gotten worse. Mm-hmm. Where I said it today, the advancement that black people went on for the 50s, 60s, 70s, them was some real troopers,
right.
And it was a real communal aspect to like everything. And now it's just like he said at the beginning, niggas find out a way to get some money or do something. Like, I ain't fucking with you.
I got mine.
Or come holler at me at the course 700. Like,
niggas be like, I got mine, fuck you.
Yeah.
I want to see all of us wealthy.
Why wouldn't you?
Like I've been one to always say since I was younger, I never want to be a millionaire. I want to be a what?
Billionaire.
Yo, one of the things I've really, cause we going into this shit, and I've really gotten into like just listening to a lot of people's testimonials and talking to people. And the one guy was like, he made a point to be like, when he got his first truck and was like, he was driving, and I got this truck and I'm driving it, and he was like, I'm going up to project managers at construction sites, just introducing myself. Yo, I got a truck. People was giving me shots, and he was like, that's how I started building up my clientele. And he was like, but I wasn't trying to do that. He's like, people will get a truck and be like, I'm good, you know what I'm saying? I'm making $1,500 a day, nigga, this is shit straight. He was like, I had a vision for wanting to be this many trucks. So he was like, as I made money, I doubled right back, like you say, reinvesting into the business. A lot of we had a whole episode last week on Patreon about scaling the business. So he was like, he reinvested, got another truck, then did it again. He's like, now I got 6 trucks, and now when I walk up to these project managers, it just looks better. Where it's like, yo, I got 6 trucks ready to go. To where it's like, oh shit, you got like, and we just kind of miss that, like as people, where it's like, you know how strong it looked when, like you say, 13 of us. Shout out BF. BF was on the show. Remember he talked about the scene on Malcolm X? He's like, Malcolm X and them walked down the street in the movie. They didn't say nothing. They just existed as men walking down the street to where the whole community gravitated behind them. And he's like, they got to the thing. Malcolm didn't even have to speak. Point his hand, everybody. And it's just like, like, why wouldn't you want that? But I see so many people where it's like, they figure out a way to make them a couple $1,000, and then out of nowhere, fuck y'all, I don't know nobody. The shit is crazy, man.
The thing with scaling too is why a lot of people stay at their same place, right? Because they're not reinvesting the money. So you see those same people, like they'll go out and they'll go get a $5,000 penthouse.
I told you the guy literally just did an interview where he was saying he started trucking, he was making $5,000 a week and then spending $5,000. He's like, I'm making $20K a month. I never experienced no shit like this. And he was like, this is when Miami and them was winning the chips. So he was like, imagine I'm in Miami making $20,000 a month, LeBron and them winning chips, Young Money down the hall. You know what I'm saying? Birdman just pulled him. He's like, I'm running wild. He was like, literally, what happened was I did that for about 5-6 months. He was like, on the 31st week, I wound up having to issue one of my trucks, and I needed to spend $4,500 on a repair. And he was like, damn, I just spent $3,500 and lived the other night. Right. And he's like, that was where it was just like, yo, I'm making the money, but I'm also spending it. And it's just, we as people don't really understand these things. Because like he said, yo, I'm making 10 grand, I'm about to spend 20
right
tonight.
This Herman line, and I know you was probably about to say it, it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep.
How much you keep. Yeah. Then you say Grant Cardone, say 40%?
Yeah.
Should be going,
Grant Cardone say if you can't live off of, he said if you can't save a minimum of 40% of your net income, you need to make more money.
You need to make more money, I want to talk about something when you talked about Rock real quick, right? The Rock Boys. Shout out to my fellas. We have standard operating procedures, SOPs. You know how every company has SOPs. We have that for our crew, right? Okay. So it's like, number one, the credit got to be on a bean. Everybody got to be at 680, right? Everybody got to have life insurance. Everybody got to have a business. You got to have the LLC. Whether you have a real business or not, everybody got to have an LLC. Everybody got to have a trust in place. There's certain things like to be part of this situation, it's got to happen because when we move, like, yo, all right, yo, we got to move here. We need 25 each. I need to be around some dudes that got 25.
Right.
Either liquid or in credit.
Right.
Because we got this play. So we all got into trucking at the same time. We all got into real estate at the same time. Who putting up what? We're just regular kids from Philly, right? Where'd you get 25,000? Because my man Herman told me how to get credit. Like it ain't. And to everybody in the group, they're like, 25 ain't a lot of money. Right. But to other people, like 25 is a lot of money. Right? No, it's not. Like I got it on a credit card, and we about to flip that thing real quick, and Herman about to give us 5,000 back each. So what is your standard operating procedures for your crew, for your group, right? That makes you guys move in a certain way and elevate in a certain way.
We gotta come up with some rules.
We definitely gotta get some bylaws.
Yeah. We gotta get up early. All right. We need change. All right.
And some change. Yeah. Absolutely. And we look out for each other and we care for each other. That's super important. Shout out to my guy Greg, right? Because he does software testing and he teaches people how to make six figures doing that.
Shout out to self-tech.
Shout out to self-tech. He had to go away for business, right? He's being trained on some software, and his wife was left alone. Standard operating procedures for our crew. Your wife alone with the kids, we have to watch your wife. So every night it was somebody's responsibility to go to his wife's house. They probably thought she was a hoe, but every day one of us was rolling up in there.
So like keep an eye on her?
Yeah, like every night.
Make sure she cool.
Every night, 8 o'clock.
Make sure she ain't going out.
He had a newborn.
Yeah,
we go in the house. They needed to see somebody was coming in and out. Yo, lock the doors. We good? All right, we out. My other guy, Jimmy, right? He worked for the government. Tree fell on the electricity lines. Lights was out, right? Just out of respect, Kevin couldn't sleep in the crib. Right,
he was away in training. He was training at the time.
Guess what my brother was? Slept in the driveway.
Like, got 2 kids in the house.
Got 2 kids in the house. He slept outside. Like, yo, standard operating procedures for your crew.
But you also got to remember, too, like, I know people are hearing this and they're like, yo, that sounds real crazy. Like, no, we 25 years in.
25 years.
I'm 32 in 2 weeks. Like, this is a real brotherhood. We're really family. Like blood, I'm not as close with blood as I'm close with these guys. So they are my blood. So yeah, that's how we're gonna carry for each other. If you're not surrounding yourself around people who will do that for you,
you got the wrong people.
Bruh.
Speak about it. No, that's real. Me and Jules are like, I'm sleeping in the house. But I'm you sleeping in the car? I'm sleeping in the car. I'm a big man. It's tight. But I'm gonna come check on some shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But no, that's real. Like, and that goes back to the whole your circle. Yeah. It's like, I said it at the beginning. Like, yo, as you get older, you realize. And me and Rob were talking about that the other day because we got like friends who we don't necessarily talk to like that from childhood. And I was like, as you get older, to me, friendships, you have to like manicure them on. Like you have to like, maybe manicure isn't the right word. Maybe be intentional about you.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Purposeful, like,
right. Purposeful
because you have to like really make sure. Like there are times where me and you will talk and it ain't even about shit. You all right? Like, you cool? Like,
he hit me up randomly the other day. Was like, yo, you cool? You ain't been saying nothing in the chats. I'm like, man, I'm dealing with Toro issues and all this nonsense. Stole my car and shit. I had to go send a ninja squad to get my car back.
Like, I hit Kev up one day, just like, yo, you all right? Like, everything, like, it's just, that's how it is. That's how it's supposed to be. Rod literally hit me the other day. Yo, everything all right? Like, fuck, we ain't talking no basketball shit tonight. How you okay? And it's just, like, that's how it's supposed to be, to where it's like, yo, I feel comfortable telling him when I need something or got an issue. I feel comfortable talking to Dan. Right. I feel comfortable talking to Ryan. It's like, that's just how it's supposed to be. And people like you, it's crazy what you said. People are like still immature to where they'll hear these things and be like, well, y'all niggas weird. Y'all niggas be like, no. This is real. Like, we really trying to do something that really matters. Y'all be out here screaming all day, oh, we the bros and me and bro got the same tat. And there's a second bro go to jail or we don't.
Got nothing for him.
I got nothing for him. Like,
yo, send me a deuce real quick. Man.
That whole deuce.
Ain't got nothing for him.
Yeah, but no, that's really how it's supposed to be, where it's just like, yo, you're supposed to want the best for your crew and your family first, then the people of your community, then eventually you're supposed to just want it for everybody. I don't know why people see people doing well, and it's like, you know how when a dog hear a doorbell? Yeah. When a nigga see a nigga doing good, that's a doorbell. They go crazy. They go, what the hell is happening? Like, this doesn't make any sense, and it's just not supposed to be like that.
He says the wild. I don't know if it's just Philly. I don't know if it's just a black community.
Listen, Philly is one of one. One of none. Like, it's nowhere else like Philly in the world, yo.
One story, some girl, she told me this. These girls be coming. Let me tell you something. These girls,
Hey, pillow talk to you.
Yeah, Drake got a line for everything. If you pillow talking, she gonna tell another nigga when she do it.
Shout out. So she was dating this dude. The dude that she was dating said, "Yo, you know Herman and Kevin?" She like, yeah, they mad cool people. Like I respect them. Like they Haitian, I'm Jamaican, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm gonna rob them niggas. Let me tell you something about this 40 on my hip. Let me tell you something about this 40 on my hip. That thing clapped. So if you think you're gonna, it's just weird shit like that. Like you see another successful black man and you're a successful black man.
Oh my dog.
Listen, we talked about that recently.
Dog.
There's a population of black men, and they only do it to other black men. They see a successful white man, successful Asian man, Mexican guy, they don't bother them. But they see a successful, I'm gonna take this nigga shit.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just tired, and it's just like, yo, we can do whatever we want to do. We can create our own opportunities, our own economies, our own businesses, our own communities, and it's just such a tired narrative that's like, all I got is just brute force, and I'm gonna just take this nigga shit. It's stupid.
Yeah. Standard operating procedures, all 13 of us strap.
All of us.
You have to. And I was the last one to get. I was like, I'm not walking around. It's like, nah, bro, it's different out here in these streets down.
Yeah, it's way different.
Standard
Herm
operating
walking around with his
procedures.
RoboCop gun.
Everybody gotta have a gun. It's crazy out here.
Yeah, it's bad.
You know. But listen, before we wrap up, so you said basketball real quick. Who winning? Shit.
I think the Warriors win game 4.
Okay.
I think the Warriors win game 5.
Okay.
And then on some weird shit, I think they just blow it. I think it goes 7 and the Celtics win.
And the Celtics win. Wow,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
I think the Celtics gonna win. I called it pretty much from game 1. Once I saw the way that the Celtics won, like where they just kind of like imposed their will on the Warriors.
Game 1, they wasn't imposing. Steph Curry gave them 26 in the first quarter.
Yeah, in the first quarter. But then the rest, that fourth quarter of the game was just like they just did whatever that they wanted to do.
I'm gonna just say this when it comes to the basketball shit. Steph Curry is by far and away the best player playing in that thing. Jason Tatum is there, but I don't think he's all the way there yet. He wants to be Kobe bad, but he's not Kobe yet.
Get there, though.
After Steph Curry, I think Klay Thompson is probably the best shooter after him, of course. But I don't necessarily think right now there's as much will there as it is for Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown, yeah, hungry.
And after that, the next 3 or 4
the
best
next
players,
6 best players
have been
is
the Celtics.
on Celtics. That kid Robert Williams is a beast.
And
man.
Draymond, and I like Draymond Green a lot. I think Draymond Green goes to the Hall of Fame. Draymond right now is aging every time out.
He's aging in
gets
dog years.
older than what he was the last time out. I never seen nothing like it. He gets older every loose ball. Yo, that shit is crazy. And last night was just a clear indicator to where it's just like, he's almost hurting them being on the floor now. And they don't really have like Klay Thompson he can shoot, but he's streaky right now.
No, he's taking bad shots. That's what Klay
But here go the thing though. Klay Thompson made a career out of bad shots. And that's the thing. Klay was getting the ball up in seconds. If you think about it, he has 70 points off of 12 dribbles. So it's like that's Klay's career. And I look at it now where it's like he's not the same snap on it Klay. Jordan Poole.
He fell off a cliff.
It's just like he'll have a game where he looks amazing, and in the other game he's on Samuel Dallenberg. Right. He just I don't know which way we go. We going east? All right.
I'm gonna keep it real. I know we talking about Draymond aging by the quarter, right, or aging by every time out, but Draymond is the engine of that team. Everything flows through Draymond.
Exactly why they down 2-1. That's what I'm saying. Like
the engine got a blown gasket.
Warriors with Draymond on the floor is plus.
Remember when you said you went to the trucks and the truck had a rock through the windshield? That's Draymond. We can make some money with this motherfucker. We got
We got to do some restoration.
Yeah, we got to put this shit in the shop. And it's just like, Draymond's the engine to that team, and that's why I think they're they're almost like stagnant at times. There were a couple possessions last night where it was just like, yo, the Warriors' ball movement and that's what they kind of famous for. It just wasn't there. It was like they were stuck. They kept getting jammed up, and it's just
third quarter when they came back.
I ain't gonna hold you. When they took the lead, I think 83-82 when Steph hit the 3. It was like, oh shit, here we go. But then the Celtics just like they can't hang, yo. It just
it was a switch. It was a switch where they were switching, letting Tatum attack Curry.
And remember,
like you got 6'8" to 6'3".
The Warriors are older now, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
doing this 7-8 years in a row, they're older now.
I'm a Jason Tatum fan, and I literally pulled up the tweets. Since he came in like draft night, I'm like, Jason Jason Tatum's gonna be the best player out of this draft. I knew he was better than Lonzo. I knew he was better than Fultz. Like I always like Jason Tatum. It's getting creepy with the Kobe shit though. The Kobe, you know, he's dressing like Kobe. He's taking pictures like Kobe. It's just like, all right, bro. Like we get it. You know what I'm saying?
Kobe did the same thing with Jordan.
And DeMar DeRozan is sitting back like, Kobe wasn't even your man. Kobe was my man. Like, I'm lost in how this shit is going on. But nah, I want to see Jason Tatum excel because I like him. I always fucked with Jason Tatum. And I like Marcus Smart.
Through the whole process, I've become the biggest fan of Ime more than any of the players.
Yeah, bro.
Like the coach for the Celtics. Young, black, sharp. Like figured it out. Like and that is kind of what I'm more so rooting for. Yes.
Listen, Marcus Smart, man. Look, shout out to Marcus. You the defensive player of the year. Steph averaging 36
He cooking him
right now.
He cooking him.
He giving you 36 easy.
Steph is the best player in the series far and away, but his supporting cast is like letting him down.
Not supporting well.
And when them in those games when he's getting a great Kevon Looney or a great Otto Porter game, he's getting nothing from Clay and Jordan Poole, and that's the difference in this series versus the rest of the playoffs.
You know what's difficult? I was having this conversation with my man Sam the other night. I was like, I think we're watching the changing of the guard, and it's hard for us to watch it. Like,
yeah, it's hard to see.
LeBron he's still crazy, right? But it's the changing of the guard. Curry he had his worst shooting percentage this year, believe it or not, right? We're watching the.
But here go the craziest part about, and I said this to Rod, with Curry having his worst shooting year. This year, Curry was an MVP candidate. They started the season 24-2, and he was balling, and it's just like. Curry is Curry.
With no play.
When he got hurt.
When he got hurt. And it's just like, Curry is Curry. He's the best shooter ever. You're never going to be able to, like, shooting the three is shooting the three. He's going to be able to do that. Like, think about Curry ain't even hit his years where he go full Ray Allen. Yeah. Where it's like, I'm just a spot up shooter. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, Curry is Curry. But I don't necessarily think it's a complete changing of the guards. Because me personally, I give the Warriors a whole hell of a lot of credit for even making it back to the finals without, KD leaving and then coming off of the injuries with Klay Thompson and shit. So it's like that alone is just dope as all fuck. Facts. But I do feel like it's funny because we talked about it the other day. We really headed towards a LeBron-less NBA.
Yep.
And we don't really realize just how spoiled we were. LeBron and Steph Curry and them went to five straight finals. You know what I'm saying?
Never seen that.
So it's just like, when you really sit back and you really think about it, LeBron with the 8 straight. Curry and them with the 4 or 5 straight, and you really sit back and you just like, and what it took was them falling apart because if that doesn't happen, they beat Toronto.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But KD knew the Achilles was torn and he still went out there and then blew it. Clay blows the knee. Now it's like, all right, cool. Toronto wins the joint. But it's like, we were really set up to see the Cavs and the Warriors for
forever.
7-8 seasons in a row, going back to
and LeBron going to the finals that many years in a row, it spoiled us. Yeah. And I said it the other day. I'm like, my man, he hates LeBron, like hates him, hates his guts. And I'm like, I don't necessarily know if we get that type of energy for the love and for the hate for a player I don't see it happening for like Ja Morant, where like people love him and people hate his guts. I don't see that happen for Joel Embiid. Like if you like Joel Embiid, you just like Joel Embiid. Right, there aren't too many people that's just I can't fucking stand him. Like how Skip Bayless made a career
out of hating on LeBron.
Hating LeBron. I don't see a motherfucker in the next year is like, let me talk about this bitch ass nigga Jason Tatum. Man. Like, I don't see that happening every morning and people tuning in for it. Right. So it's like we have gotten extremely spoiled with Kevin Durant, LeBron, and Steph Curry sitting at the top. And then even with like the next guys who are like aren't really talkers. Like Giannis is probably the best. To me, he's the best guy in the league.
Absolutely.
But there's nothing you can really do behind him.
Trae Young.
Yeah, it's just Giannis. Trae Young is a good talker. People bring him on podcasts and shit like this, but he hasn't elevated to where you can run the gauntlet year after year. And that's more so what I'm saying, where it's like the changing of the guard. It's not like Jordan and them beating the Pistons. Or even the Pistons beating the Lakers. It wasn't like, it's not that where it's like we sitting down, now them down, now we the guys. It's more so the guys is doing so much other shit. Like y'all say, LeBron just hit $1 billion. Right. So LeBron is like, man, I'm in Hollywood. I'm over here.
LeBron had a movie debuted yesterday on Netflix, the Adam Sandler movie.
I don't know how.
Spring Hill.
Spring Hill, yeah.
I don't know.
You know who's right behind him? Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant.
$100 million
He had $1
portfolio
million.
right now.
Kevin Durant was kicking it with all them tech dudes and
Tech
shit.
dudes, yeah. He's next up.
Yeah.
He's up next.
So it's
Strategically, what Kevin Durant did that people aren't talking about is he went from Silicon Valley to Silicon Alley.
Yeah.
And
Over
nobody's
Brooklyn.
not talking about that because there's a whole tech startup situation that's
Behind the
right
scenes,
behind
yeah,
the scenes
nobody
right in
know
New York
about.
that nobody's talking
and
about.
that's more so what I'm saying, where it's like back in the day when you saw the changing of the guard in basketball, like I said, the Bulls beating the Pistons beating the Celtics, finally get past them. That was all the motherfuckers had. It was just pride of the sport. Where it's like now, Kevin Durant, like think about it, the Nets was a projected final favorite.
Yeah.
They got put out in the first round.
Sweat.
People on the line like, nigga, you home in the first round. Everybody still playing. Kevin Durant like, man, I suck my dick. I'm rich.
I'm rich.
What you talking about? This is me. I gotta go to because it's just so much other shit that they're doing now. So the changing of the guard, it's not the traditional changing of the guard, but just the fact that players now think about it. You got dudes in football that just walk away.
Yeah.
They don't even get hurt. They just like, man,
They're
I
like,
could get hurt.
I'm outta here.
I'm
Yeah.
out of
I'm
this
outta
joint.
here. Yeah.
I done made 55.
They
I'm about
look
to
around,
invest
they be
this
like,
into
I
this.
got all my faculties, I'm out of this
outta
joint.
here. Especially
Look,
now.
Warwick Dunn done built like 170 cribs down in the Tampa area. Like you got dudes just like, I got other shit to do as opposed to this. So it's not the old school like, you know, when they lost, they was like bawling, crying, and it's just like.
I can't wait to see what LeBron does in year 20. You're a billionaire. You're in year 20. This close from winning a scoring title the year before. How do you wake up in the morning, bro? Like, what's your
motivation? Yeah. What are you eating for breakfast?
His motivation is this Bronny coming to the league.
I used to always say that Floyd Mayweather to me was the most motivated professional athlete.
Yeah, motivated for no reason.
Because you just have to be a professional boxer on that level. And if you know Floyd, like we real fans of like knowing that he would run 4 miles after going to the club, shit
And
like
go
that.
to the club and don't drink nothing.
Don't drink. Like he literally, one of the guys who was doing the interview, he worked for his like whatever the fuck staff, the what's the shit called?
Oh, the security staff?
Not the security staff, but what's his actual thing? Mayweather Promotion.
Oh, the money team.
The people who work for the money team. The guy was saying how they'll be in the house sleep. Floyd will just pop up out of bed 3:30 in the morning. Come on, y'all, we going running. And he on the street just running. They said he ran 7 miles a day during his retirement. So it's just like I always thought he was like the most motivated and dedicated professional athlete. And now I look at LeBron where it's just like, and even in Floyd's situation, he didn't have the world just like at his feet. Money-wise, he did. But people don't like Floyd Mayweather. Like, you know, he made all that money and he has no endorsements.
No endorsements.
None.
Not a dollar.
He didn't accept any endorsements.
He didn't accept them, yeah. He could have
But
got
no,
them.
I'm just saying,
accept them.
like, look how LeBron has, you know, they have a building for LeBron on the Nike campus.
yeah.
Like, shit like that.
yeah.
Where it's like, you got things that just no one else can talk about. And for you to still get up and come to the gym, but they said he was coming to the gym before the rookies.
Yeah.
Like, huh? Like, he beating the AR, Austin Reeves, he's beating all of them to the gym and staying longer, then leaving, and he got Bryce and Bronny, and it's crazy. You know Bryce is dunking now? Yeah. Like, the little son is dunking, and it's
He's
just...
taller, too.
Dog. And it's just, he does that. He turns around and opens up a school in Akron. He now has a hospital. Health center in Akron. It's just like... That's somebody who legitimately could just say, you know what, I'm done with basketball. I'm gonna go over here. So the fact that he even still shows up and is still the face for the NBA,
it's great.
because I know I would have retired.
Don't give me a
Don't give me a
I'm shutting off my Instagram. I'm not teaching y'all nothing no more.
$1 billion. I'm out of here.
It's up there. Y'all go take a look at it.
I'm
Cool. When I got that $100 million.
Dog,
'cause
I'm at Richard Bronson house. Like, when is the fucking jet leaving?
I'm a billionaire, so
I'm at Richard Bronson house. Like, when is the rocket leaving, bro? We supposed to go to Mars. Seriously, let's get the fuck off Earth.
Let's get off Earth.
They broke his shit on Earth. Real shit. But no, we appreciate y'all coming down.
This amazing interview,
This
man.
was
Great
fun.
energy. This was fun, man.
this was a good interview.
This was fun.
That's what we try to do, man. Just not really have like an interview, more like a let's just rap.
Let's just rap.
Let's
Bust it
just
up.
figure it out.
Let's
like,
just
as
cut
we-
the cameras on and have a conversation.
You know, yeah, real talk, and that's the best format. It's easy for people to take, digest, and you'd be surprised, man, how many people listen to this and just gravitate towards it. When y'all do the episodes where y'all do this type of stuff, like people like when we do the nonsense and all that. But it's these episodes where we get the super duper exponential growth where it's like people of all walks of life coming. I was at the game and literally dude just walked up to me and was like, yo man, I don't know you. I know you don't really like people walking up on you, but I just had to tell you, like, I listened to your show. Dude, I just got $45,000 in credit, man, just from listening to y'all Patreon. He's like, I got my mom on it, my wife on it. They getting their credit all straight. So he's like, man, like I rocks with y'all. Somebody the other day sent us a message like he got 100 and some odd thousand just listening to y'all from doing this, building this relationship, doing this situation. And you know, I come from, we started, me and then we started with secure cards. Like $300 on the
300 on it.
You spend 27. Let me pay that down real quick. Pay that down. Let them know I ain't playing. Like,
Before that usage get too high.
Yeah. You started with, so yeah, I tell people all the time, I started with Navy Federal with a $300 secure card. I got two $20,000 cards from them. I got 2 car loans from them, personal loan, and a line of credit. It's like $130 in with Navy Federal.
Get it.
From $300. So it's like, yeah, no, it's the shit y'all saying. I know he doesn't. I know it's true now.
Yeah. Oh, now you believe me. Right.
5 states. Yeah, all right, nigga. But no, it's like it's just being able to do this and having people, you know. And I'm big on, like you said earlier, because I've worked the job for so long to where it's just like there is no real gain from it. It's just security. That's it. That's the only reason to go do that every day is just, you know, you're going to get paid on Friday. You know, you're going to be able to get your gas in your car, little hose, do what you do, and go ahead about you next week.
Next week, and do it again.
And now, like I said, we just at the point where we have all these connections. We have all these people like you, like your brother, who are out here really trying to affect the community, because at the end of the day, these other communities, they don't need affecting. The Jewish community moves like the Jewish community.
Yeah,
they a well-oiled machine.
They a well-oiled machine, and we that truck with the glass busted and the trash.
And the dopest thing about them is that everybody is on code at all times. Yeah. They have a new one, like you said. You got your circle. You got your circle of friends. Mm-hmm. They have they town halls or whatever. Yo, so and so as a Kaya got a new business opportunity. It's 400 to raise for the whatever. Who want to invest? Who got minimum $10,000? Cool, that's done. Next item of business, and then they go through.
I gotta leave the room with a joke. I was on Philly Reddit the other day.
Oh man, Philly Reddit.
It's the most burnt out shit I've heard. But the young boy made a post, and he was like, "Yo, I just got a 3D screen printer. I'm selling ghost guns. Who want one?" So the boy comment order was like, "You got to be out of your fucking mind to post this, nigga. You really think somebody about to fuck with you on this joint?" He's like, "You going to jail?" And he was like, "No." He's like, "You going to prison?" He was like, "It's all good, bro. I'm getting money. I got Jewish lawyers." He was like, "Well, that's good, because they gonna put you in a Jewish jail."
Swear to God.
That nigga made a post like, "Yo, I got ghost guns. Who
want one?"
Yo, before we close out, because I know we about to wrap it up, and this is for the viewers. I know y'all saw me drop the mic a lot of times because it was hanging on over here. So I know y'all gonna be talking about that in the video about the mic going like this a few times. So let me just let y'all know.
I seen it lean once or twice.
Look, there's a ghost in here. Keep tapping the mic.
It's a ghost. Nigga.
Why is this dude dropping his mic? Listen, it wasn't me. I just want to leave y'all with that.
Y'all want to give them y'all socials, man, so they can find you on social media?
Yeah, so you guys can follow me on Instagram at kevinj.dolce, DOLCE. And then, of course, you can click the link in my bio, follow my business page, Nancy, NTN, 90_business consultant. I know it's real long, but you'll follow my business page from there. I'm always tagging my business page off my personal page. You guys could visit my website, www.1990.com, spelled out, .co. You'll get all the information that you need in regards to LLCs, businesses, anything that you're confused about. My website is literally an information gem. So just go on there, www.1990.co. Get all the gems that you need. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming, man.
You can find me on Instagram, Haitian, HAITIAN, Haitian _1_CEO. I have so many fake ones on Instagram.
Oh, listen. Yo. We ain't done yet. 5 more minutes. Why do the hackers love you so much, dog?
Because I'm selling a product, right? So if I was just a lifestyle channel, they wouldn't replicate me. But because I'm selling something, so now they in everybody DMs trying to sell. So they've gotten a lot of people. Yeah, so I just have one page, Haitian _CEO on Instagram. You could usually know when these pages are fake because they never post in their stories.
Right.
Never.
So now, because a live person has to be posting. So, and you can follow my business page, Bella_Sloan_Enterprises. And click the link in my bio for everything. We got the funding in the link in the bio. We got the mentorship. We do free credit assessments to see what's going on with your credit. You need the trust. Everything is in there. The classes that we do, we got upcoming, everything, my tours that we do. So everything is in the link in the bio. We would love to be a service. You can email us at info@bellasloanenterprises.com. You can text or call the office 609-832-3552. For those that want to pick my ear or bend my ear, I do not meet up with people for a cup of coffee or for lunch. It's a consultation.
Straight cash, homie.
Yeah, that's called a consultation and straight cash, homie.
Dang, I feel like I gotta do mine all over.
He like, hold on, no.
I also give a 20-minute free consultation.
He does
so
it
if
for
you click
free.
the link in my bio, I definitely do a 20-minute free consultation. That will be ending in September. So enjoy it while you can. You have 12 weeks of summer. So let's get it.
Man,
done.
you brothers are
money.
you brothers are amazing. Y'all inspirational. Y'all truly masters of y'all craft. We appreciate y'all spending so much time with us today, giving our audience, the TRP Nation, so many gems, so much real life scenarios and examples to walk away with. I'm sure y'all gonna get inundated with phone calls and website requests and all that. All I ask is just look out for me when mine comes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're definitely gonna sit and figure this whole thing out. Because even Dan was saying that, like, no, we got to sit with Kev. So it's like, yeah, no, we'll definitely get that done, and we'll be able to tell people firsthand. You know what I'm saying?
Looking forward to it, guys. Thank
Y'all
you
brothers
so
are
much.
amazing,
Appreciate
man.
you.
Thank you so much, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
God damn. Thanks, guys.
TRPE, man. We out of here. Peace.